and there should be sound going on to the stream, which is good. Hello everyone and welcome to D&D, which is the game that we play every Tuesday. Or would be if we did play every Tuesday. Sometimes we don't, because life is like that sometimes. Anyway, we're back with the intrepid group known as the Mismatched Mavericks, following up from their last adventure, in which after talking to their contact, Finasair, in Redemption, they got a clue that a book and a person that they were looking for might be in an abandoned tower near the city of Bunder. Their contact, Finasair, teleported them all the way over to Bunder, whereupon they rested for the night, disrupted a little bit of... got the locals a little bit hot and bothered with their being themselves throughout the night, doing all manner of things. And then, in the morning, they set off from Bunder towards this abandoned tower, which they explored thoroughly, but not that thoroughly. And they did find a lot of things. They did find the person they were looking for, Faye, she has a name. Well, you don't know her name, so it doesn't matter. You found Faye de Bubec, and you also found the book that has no name. It's just the book for now, that you all found with her as she was rambling things that she should not know and should not have been able to know even, and also and yeah, you found Faye apparently in a very altered state of mind inside the fort, alongside the book and the knowledge of things that she should not, by rights, have been able to know. And then you all made your way outside of the ruins and back into Bunder after a long walk, whereupon you seemed in high spirits after your victory, seemingly, and you clearly let everyone know as you decided to enter the city, loudly beatboxing some sort of tune, and you got one of the locals agitated, and afterwards they challenged you to a challenge at night to see who is the best player of instruments, and then that is where we left off. So, Mismatched Mavericks, you find yourselves in the city center of Bunder, the main street, which is the only street the city has, leading back towards the fort or further westward towards Salcester Polder and eventually Redemption. And there you are. What are you doing?
Well, first things first, we should probably go find our wizard friends.
Yeah, let's go find Derek.
At least. I'm going to go take a walk to the stable. The Falcon
Yeah,
won't get
okay.
in any more fights.
Eh,
All
We'll
right.
have the entire
Let's fight
town
it.
after us at this rate.
Don't forget to roll for your cards before we start.
Yeah.
All right.
You and your house rules.
Oh, me and my house rules. You hate them so much.
These are
No, I don't hate them. It's just there's
Wait, are we resting? I should probably have asked that.
Not yet.
No,
Sure we will.
you're not resting.
Yeah, let me just detract my fireballs because I'm totally going to throw a fireball in the middle of town.
Sure, you shouldn't,
No,
but
no.
sure.
I bet I didn't click on myself. Yep.
Let's see, who's who?
There's no token.
Yeah.
Can I
rolled
never find this?
so-
There you are. What?
Cool.
Transcribe our character sheets into paper and we play the old-fashioned way.
I was gonna say I have Drax character sheet in D&D Beyond, so
There you go.
and I keep it up to date because it's just easier for me to look at.
No one else has because we're using way too many homebrews.
Well, look.
What?
Just manually write it in, okay? My character has the least, I mean, semi-least homebrew thing. I hand wrote it all, okay?
Sure. So all of you guys have your cards, I hope.
Sure do.
So
I got one whole card.
I got one whole card.
good. So Draktaryn, you're looking for Derek, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I would like you to... Well, first, you said you go to the stables. You go to the stables, and you find that Derek isn't there.
Is he just out cruising around at all?
Do you want to look around town for him?
I want to look around town for him. I need to find these wizards.
Sure. Make an investigation check. As you set out on your own to look
9.
for your friendos. So, you start asking around, but then you realize that, the people that seem to have seen... Well, nobody seems very keen on aiding you, and you feel in the back of your mind, Draktaryn, that it's probably because this entire group just made a big commotion with the local bard a few minutes ago, and the people are not very keen on these outsiders who start threatening people, and nobody gives you any answers to where Derek might have been. And as you walk around this very small town, you also don't find him.
Do I let's see. Silly for me to ask this, but like, would I be able to smell Derek? Like, something horsey, close by, other
Horsey?
than the horse stables?
Mm.
I don't know.
As you
Just ask.
as you start sniffing around, you do sense that Derek was here at some point, but you don't sense, you don't feel his smell nearby. Precisely. You imagine you could try and track him down. Although you're not super adept at tracking, you could always give it a try. But you get the sense that he's not in town.
Okay. Can I question? Are there any local rats I could question about this?
Oh man, not this again. You didn't need to, but thank you.
I couldn't click away from it.
There, you're detecting magic for 30 kilometers, which is a
40
lot.
kilometers.
So, well, it was what the measurement in the map said, but no, Falcon, you're casting this ritually, I imagine.
Sure, detecto magic.
All right. You start trying to detect magic in your surroundings by casting the spell ritually, and once you do see that some things on your companions start shining with magical residue, as you see that they are indeed holding several magical items, but around you, you don't really sense any sort of magical residue of any kind. It doesn't seem like there's anything else magical going on in this town.
Kind of waving his arms at the sky. I see something.
Do
I
elaborate.
see a rat and a dragon.
Oh, weird. Maybe we should
Yeah,
meet
no,
them
right?
sometime. We might get along.
Might be nice. Might be nice to introduce ourselves sometime.
Can I just look for like hoof prints? See if I can figure out where he went.
Sure, if you want to try and track him down, I would like you to make a wisdom survival check. Drakdaring and whoever else is also attempting to do this.
Snarky wizard.
Tracking him down?
Track Darren.
Yeah,
Sure. I'll help. Why not? I'll do things. That's all the help you get, though.
eventually, this track seems to go, well, after walking for a long while, I would say like half an hour, eventually get to the edge of the forest, and you do see that the tracks go further inside, into the forest. And you could keep on following, but you know, all of you, that the forest is a very dangerous place.
Well, I think. What time of day is it, by the way?
It's it's nearly 2 in the afternoon.
Oh, still early.
You want to just go back and wait for them?
Yeah, that's probably the best option, honestly. I mean, they have to show back up eventually. And I would hate to be dragging our Fae friend here around too much. Maybe she just needs a good night's rest and somewhere to sleep.
Oh shit!
Somewhere
I
that
totally
isn't
forgot.
a rock.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
She is
Yeah,
following you
totally
all.
for-
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about her.
I didn't.
Uh,
So
that's
yeah,
okay.
let's I guess let's wait and see. We can just keep an eye out for if Finn or Derek come back to town, and we'll see then. I mean, if we
Well,
have some time, Falcon. I don't know. You spent a lot of spells back there. I don't know if you need to rest or if you have other things you need to be doing.
I could use a relatively decent amount of sleep that would coordinate to me being more sane.
That seems unlikely, the last bit, but hopefully resting will help either way.
I said more sane. That wasn't
Ah.
implying I was sane to begin with.
Right, well, that much. I mean, who is?
You
You've
wanna
also
just get-
you've got
you
a
wanna
lot of
just-
spell scrolls, don't you?
A few.
Don't you wizards have to do things with scrolls, like study them?
Well, yes, but I'd get ink everywhere right now.
Well, right now. But if we go back to the tavern and just hang out for, 8 hours or something.
Yes. And I could learn that oh so wonderful spell everyone and their mother wants me to learn.
Or anyone that you want. Don't feel pressured.
Hmm. I shall learn
let's-
prestidigitation a second time.
Ah, smart man. Yeah, let's just go back for now. I'll turn around and head back.
Alright. Draktharian, you turn around and head back, leading the mismatched Mavericks all the way back into Bunder. After
I vote ale and food.
after half an hour of walk, again, all of you come back to town slightly sore in the legs from all the walking you have been doing here and there and everywhere. But yeah, you're still feeling very healthy, and the day is young. What's the order of the day now? I'll have.
I should open up the bag of holding and remember what we have. That might need looking at. Oh yeah, that breastplate. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, Stormclimb's going to try to find a private. If it's possible, he's going to try and find a private place, probably like, I don't know, buy a whatever you probably call a dumpster, I guess, and place where people wouldn't really bother trying to look. So he's gonna sneak off and just get some reading done while he's waiting, because like it's not like there's any other place he could get some privacy, right? Because there's no rooms at the inn.
There's just room.
Yeah, the inn is just one big room with lots of beds. So are you all just finding a private place? Are you going back to the tavern? What are you all doing?
I kind of want to see if I could maybe inspect this breastplate some more and see if there'd be any way that I could like use it, alter it in some way to make it work for me.
Why don't you just ask Faye to look at it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what she could tell us.
She's got them magic eyes, so she'd probably be able to see it all.
It's a interesting question. If she does have so much odd knowledge, Faye, I wonder if she could look at like a magic item and just tell me what it is.
Do it.
I'll take the time to learn. I'll take the time to learn to write down a spell scroll, just kind of out in the open, similar to last night with the burning the incense thing without caring where anyone was around me.
Sure, so you all just sort of plop down in a random empty spot in town and start going to town on your magical items?
I think we should probably be in the inn before we do that, but
Oh yeah, in the end.
yeah. We'll just go back to where Falcon ritualized the floor last night.
Just imagine everyone willingly moving but having to pick up Falcon during the process.
Come on, let's go. I'll just carry you inside. Don't worry, you can keep reading.
Five
We can do
eggs.
studying.
Up a full hour.
Okay, so all of you just head back into the tavern in Bunder?
Back into the inn, where it's not outside. Bring Faye with us.
Sure.
Keep an eye on her.
As you all walk into the inn, I would like everyone to make me a wisdom perception check.
I just want some peace and quiet.
Don't we all?
An 11.
Who are you
That's
trying?
persuasion.
Yeah, who are you trying to persuade?
Oh, is that persuasion? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm blind today. I've been staring at like
The other
manuals all
P.
day. The other, well, there's 3 P's. That's a lot of P's, man.
Oh no.
Holy crap.
Oh no, not the rare PPP.
PPP.
Okay, as all of you enter the tavern, well, not all of you, as you enter the tavern, Falcon, you're incredibly absorbed into your scrolls and books and reading, and you just don't mind the world around you. Everything could be on fire as far as you know and care. But Stormclimb and Drakdarin, the two of you notice that as soon as you enter, a lot of people turn their heads to look at who is coming in, and as soon as people notice that it's you, their eyebrows furrow and their looks get a little gloomy, and you get the sense that these people are not fans of you. Not after previous events.
Just kind of return the sort of like, I don't give a shit kind of look and just walk past to go to the sleeping area. Maybe bump into someone if they're sticking out a little too far.
As you try to go into the sleeping area, you see, there is the same small red-skinned scaled kobold that you saw yesterday that received you, but now there's another person behind the counter, a folk that looks incredibly familiar to you.
Oh no.
And he looks at you and says, "Wait a moment. Are you trying to go into the bedding areas without paying?"
Well,
They told me your group was very rude, but I didn't expect it to be this bad.
I mean, I can pay you now if you want. It's been a bit of a day.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but there is no money in the world that will make me change my mind about you and your friends. I would rather not have you in this establishment if at all possible.
I see. Well, Falcon, my friend, it appears we are no longer welcome here.
Eh. Yeah,
That's
okay.
most unfortunate.
5 cups of butter, 8 cups of flour.
Are you looking at the bread recipe? What do you...
No, I'm pretty sure this is the right scroll.
Oh my god.
A friend of yours left a message to you all, by the way. He told you to meet them back in the Redemption.
God damn it!
They left without us. Oh, bastards. Alright, wonderful. Did this friend leave their name?
Well, certainly isn't anyone in this town. Must be another outsider.
Well, judging by how thin-skinned some of the denizens of this place are, I wouldn't be making many friends around here anyway.
You certainly have a big mouth on you, sir.
I'm a big dragon.
My brother warned me about this outsider's coming. He says he challenged you all to a duel tonight.
In a way, I suppose, yes. But if you're no longer welcome, then we can just leave right now, wipe our hands of this, and never see each other again.
That is fine by me.
You don't know which friend it was that left this message, then?
I couldn't really be bothered. to record the details of them.
Well, as unwelcoming as you are being, I appreciate you and your small friends' hospitality at least one night on our journey. Come, Falcon. We'll find somewhere else that we can actually relax.
A word of advice. If you are planning to ever stay somewhere else, make sure you let the locals sleep at night. And don't pick fights with people in the streets. Small towns like ours.
What are you talking about? Oh, my brother? Oh, are you talking about my brother? Oh, yeah. He wanders around here every now and then. Mind him, though. That being said, it is such a shame that somebody like you would actually take it out on a family member based on the things that they've done despite their affiliation. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame.
Make a charisma deception with disadvantage, Falcon. Let's see how this goes.
I don't know how to roll disadvantage.
Hold
Oh,
control.
Control. It's always key bindings.
I know. Oh, so close to being really good.
Well, I don't know anything about
I'm-
your alleged brother, but they also didn't. They mentioned your brother or whoever was also accompanied by a very big, burly dragonborn that didn't allow anyone to disturb you while you were disturbing everyone else. And also, a big, burly dragonborn who was also, intimidating my brother
Well,
just outside when he was playing his music.
Actually, I recall your brother being the one to throw a hissy fit, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I was not there. I heard this story from my brother. I heard the story from little Ale Felix over here. It seems to me that I have one too many persons speaking ill of you. That is more than enough for me.
So Stormclimb is definitely going to whisper into Drax's ear. Drax, come on, let's just get out of here before Falcon causes the town to chase after us with pitchforks and fire. We already have one problem on our hands. Let's not escalate it even further.
alright. Look. We're obviously not welcome here. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm tired. He's tired. We'll be on our way.
You're not?
No, we're not looking to pick any fights, Falcon.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know. I know you're so excited.
Oh, very, absolutely enthralled.
I can hear it in your voice. I'll just shake my head, look very disappointed, and slowly turn to start heading out with Faye next to me, hoping that Falcon follows.
I'm still being held.
Oh, I appear to be just literally carrying the party at this point then.
Apparently, that seems to be the way of things here.
Set the wizard down, guide the semi-insane person outside. Come, bring your bread recipe. We might need it.
Bread recipe.
You've been talking about like portions and flour for like 10 minutes.
No, no, no. This is a comprehend languages scroll. I'm just having a little trouble reading it.
Might be upside down.
Oh, dreb, not bread. It's not a word
Alright.
either.
Looks like that spell has failed on you. Can't
Oh.
comprehend that language.
Don't get it.
Oh, snap.
Oh, good. Alright, fine. I've got I've got sleeping shit. We can just set up in the forest. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So, Doug, how close? Where's the next closest village or town?
Fairly far away.
It's far-ish away. I imagine that during your travels, at some point you have looked at a map to see the region around you, and you know that the next city over before you get to Redemption is Southchester Polder, a coastal village, 2 days away. And then Redemption is 2 days away from Southchester Polder as well. So you're looking at a 4-day travel walking over there.
There wouldn't happen to be any. One other thing. How's the water current? Does it see? I guess we'd have to go investigate, wouldn't we, to see if it's going towards Redemption or away.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person for nautical stuff.
I mean, we're next to.
Can you tell me how the
lake, and there's
geological water flow works here?
I mean,
Is it going east or west? Is the water rotating in a clockwise or counterclockwise formation?
Yeah, on
Okay.
your planet.
Here's a better question then. Can we rent a boat from this town, which you stated this town does sell boats? Can we rent or buy a boat and cut our traveling time down faster?
Potentially, if one of you know how to pilot a boat, that would be great. Otherwise, you suffer the risk of, accidents in the way.
Straight up dying.
But also, you get the sense that by now the word of the outsiders has already spread far enough. So it would take time and effort to convince someone to rent you a boat.
I guess the same goes for horses too.
I bet there's not even proper carts here, so. Yeah.
Well, we've been completely screwed.
Well, that's what happens, I guess. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Really, we got our prize. Who cares if some podunk town doesn't like us?
Uh-huh.
I do still have one more fireball.
Do not, for any reason, cast Fireball.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
cast
yeah.
Power Word No on that.
Please,
By the way,
don't.
Falcon, I just wanted to confirm something with you. This doesn't matter at all. I'm just out of curiosity. I was looking back at your character sheet in Roll20, and you listed your alignment as lawful neutral, but I see now that you have changed it.
20. Oh no, the roll 21. Oh no. I was still halfway writing everything. That is not indicative. Everything in Foundry is exactly how it should be.
Oh, so that is your alignment then. Okay, I see.
Wait, is it roll 20 or is it whatever website it was?
The previous one was Roll20. You never got to play in Roll20, but I had you create your character sheet there. But it's incomplete. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure because I was double checking and I found a discrepancy and I wanted to make sure. But that has no bearing on anything. I just wanted to know because I find this amusing. But anyway, carry on.
One of the most intimidating questions is when the DM just out of nowhere goes, "Hey, could you remind me what your character's alignment is?" Why are you asking that question? This only means bad things. Anyway, back out on the street, kind of just arms crossed, sneering, Falcon, no fireballs. We are going to start walking. And we are just going to take the main road. And we will camp if we need to. But it seems like we kind of got left with the bag.
The bag being the lady or the bag being the bag you're holding?
Yes. Both. I was really kind of hoping that we weren't going to have to escort her. But, well, seems we have a few days and an extra companion.
Escort missions, the best kind of missions, am I right, folks?
So good. So, let me just go through my bags real quick and make sure we're stocked up for road travel real quick. Not that anyone will probably sell us anything, but...
I mean, you all have all manner of foraging abilities, don't you?
Oh, I know, I'm just making sure.
Best I can do is scrounge up a fruit salad.
There you go.
That's still pretty good, though.
Because I got herbalism kit.
Let's be real, that sounds pretty good.
That's a skill.
Yeah, okay. 14 rations for 4 people for 4 days. Should work out. Well, it won't work out. Damn. Does anyone else have rations? Falcon, do you have rations?
Do I have rations? My answer is no.
Oh, God.
Have no food, sir.
Is there a general store here that I could go harass a little?
There is.
Good. I would love to go buy some stuff for the road.
I'd like to do something right before Drac,
no.
as Drac is about to walk into the store.
Oh, no.
I'd like to cast.
Go on.
I'd like to cast Silent Image. I'm just
God.
trying to find the spell. Yeah. So. Oh, hold on one second. Blah, blah. I don't even know what this means. So.
I don't know what this means, but I'm gonna cast it.
Oh, it was trying to ask me where I'm putting it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the point is that I want to cast Silent Image on Drac, and I'm gonna tell Drac really quickly, "Hey, Drac, I'm gonna disguise you so that they actually sell us some supplies. Okay? You're gonna look like. Well, what do you want to look like?
I'm not sure how you're going to make me look less imposing or like myself. But you
Big
can
bird.
certainly try.
Big bird, big bird, big bird.
What's?
Just make me look like an Aarakocra. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Okay. He looks like an Aarakocra. Pretty much it.
Just so you know, silent image, you can't use it to disguise someone. You cause an illusion to appear, so you have to make an Aarakocra that is larger than Drakdarian, that so he can fit inside of it and have it move at the same time.
Yeah,
intended.
it's a 50-foot cube.
A 15-foot Aarakocra walks into a general store.
Well, up to 15 feet, so it has to be at least like 1 inch bigger than you. And you have to manipulate the image that so it moves in tandem with Drakdarian, otherwise he's gonna have several limbs when he shouldn't.
Or I can
Well,
just
don't worry,
walk
I
in
just-
and
I-
put gold on the table and we just leave. And they don't get, like, suspicious of us. Because that
Look,
sounds really suspicious.
If he's bigger than 15 feet, all I have to do is just move up the cube. I don't need to disguise the feet. Okay? It's he's wearing pure armor on his legs. Are they immediately going to say, "Wait, those are
I know those
dragonborn
legs.
feet"?
I know those legs.
I know those legs.
Sure, it's just that, you know, the spell isn't designed this way, so I'm going to ask you to make a roll in any case for it.
I'm just like layering it on top of him. That's how I'm doing the spell, or at the very least, creating like how do I put it? Like, I don't know, layering on a 2D image onto this person so it looks 3D, something like that.
Sure, just sure. Make a wisdom insight check with advantage. Sure.
Why did I just walk in and offer him money? Money helps. You know.
But then he probably try to charge 14.
Right.
I just don't want him to sell us shitty items.
All right. You both walk. You storm climb on Drakdarian's shoulder. That's so you can, well, not his shoulder, but really on top of his head. That's so you can control his horns. And thanks to your connection, the camaraderie between the two of you after adventuring for so long, you're able to not only control him as you pull his horns around, but also control your illusion in tandem to move with him. And it looks like a very good, well-oiled machine as this 10 feet tall Aarakocra enters the store.
And I'm a bowler hat. I just want to make that addendum. If I'm on top of him, I want to become a hat.
Sure.
On top of my head, the bird doesn't need a bowler hat. He's taller than me.
Oh,
What? I thought this was you with an image overlaid with an Aarakocra face or whatever.
It is,
I don't know.
but sure, it's an
Yeah.
a gigantic Aarakocra with a bowler
With a
hat.
bowler hat. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm into it.
Who just
there.
walks into the store and the and the badger folk who's behind the counter, he just looks up at you with a very like look of, oh no, today is the day I die. As he sees this giant entering the store.
Just kind of give him a little friendly wave and be like, "Hey there, looking to buy some things."
Sure, sir. What are you looking to buy?
I just need some rations. Probably like, I don't know, let's see, 10 rations. You got any potions?
We do not have potions, sir.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Could I interest you in a fishing pole, perhaps?
I ain't much one for fishing.
I can make it to you for 2 silver pieces, sir.
You need to sell a fishing pole?
I don't know, sir. I'm just trying to do my best.
You're panicking a lot. I don't think you need to panic as much as you're panicking right now.
I mean, I don't want to die.
What you? I'm here to buy goods for money. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to kill you or whatever. Literally just here to buy some food for the road.
All right. I'm sure. Feel free to browse over the counters. I'm trying to
Sure.
regain control of my legs.
Yeah, wonderful. Grab a chair if you need to. I'm gonna need, like I said, 10 rations, and maybe you got like 2 lengths of rope.
Sure, it's hanging on the wall there, by the
Cool.
door.
You got any? You don't got like a grappling hook or anything, do you?
I'm afraid not, sir. We don't do a whole lot of climbing here.
That's real unfortunate.
You might find some at Redemption, but I'm sure someone there will be very happy to sell you some grappling hooks, sir.
Yeah, I bet they would. You got any like you got any lanterns?
Yes. We do. Over there by that corner, by the
Good.
counter on the corner, sir.
Good. I'll take. Well, hold on. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, you know what? I'll take 10 days of rations, 2 lengths of rope, some oil, and that there hooded lantern, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course,
You
sir.
also-
Good.
Would you-
Good. Now, you need to grow some spine, son. You're
I
judging me based on how I came in here.
I don't see folk tall as you every day, sir.
Well, I get that a lot.
And direct there, and you see that this badger folk is like 4 feet tall. Badger folk are they're not very tall.
They're stocky. They're stocky.
Yeah, they're
No.
stocky like dwarves, but they're very short, and you are gigantic.
Very tall. Yeah, all right. So what's that come up to? Maybe a couple of might need a couple for that there lantern. Okay. I need to actually do math now.
Yeah, I wasn't keeping track of prices, so
Oh no, I am.
that is on you, mister.
It's getting out the accounting classes. You know the ones.
Yeah, I know the ones. The semicircular. Yep.
Exactly.
By the way,
Exactly
where's
the
is
ones.
did Falcon come into the store with
He's
us? Because
outside.
okay, thank goodness, because I did not include him into the spell.
He's outside.
No, he's feeding a crow outside.
Yeah.
Your
Oh,
crow
yeah,
or
yeah.
another random crow?
Another random crow that decided to join in.
Sure.
He's becoming Crow Man.
Because I'm an asshole, make a wisdom
Oh.
animal handling check.
Sure, why not?
Everyone's got to roll something today. Oh, look at you. You see, Falcon, that this crow is very friendly. He actually approaches you, and he sees that you, as you're, just feeding him whatever it is. This crow keeps approaching and approaching, and taking more and more of your food, until the point you get a little bit distracted, just kind of looking at the horizon, and then you see, when you look back, you see that the crow has stolen the entirety of your bread and is just hopping away with it.
Where did I even get bread?
Where did you get bread?
Just staring like, where did I get that?
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation, yes. My secret technique.
Secret. Hey, you were just talking about bread recipes over there.
Yeah, today is the day of bread.
All those things come out to like 13 gold.
13 gold. Alright. So you can discount that from some money that you have on your person.
Yep.
And as you plop that into the counter, the tiny badger folk compared to you, the 10 feet tall Aracroc, he's just shaking and nodding like, "Thank you, sir. I'm absolutely sorry for the treatment I've gave you, and I hope you don't mind and you come back again."
Oh, absolutely. You've done me absolutely good service today, and I don't mean to intimidate. I am just a bit of a looming individual. Hopefully see you around. This will help me get on the road.
Safe travels.
Yeah, you as well. Hope you can find someone to buy that fishing pole.
I hope so, yeah.
I'll turn around and leave with my pile of things that I just slip into the bag of holding.
Sure. As you are about to leave the store, you just hear this man breaking into prayers.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to not laugh the whole time. Step outside and just... Stormflame, was that really necessary?
What? I mean, he wasn't going to sell it to us if we were going as is.
I mean, it was a good idea. It just... I don't know. I kind of felt bad freaking that guy out.
Well, it's not like I can shrink you.
Well, I know. I'm big. I get it. Either way, we're stocked up for the road. I've got stuff for putting up a tent. We've got food for days now.
Do you want to, I got one more... Wait, I got about, let me take a look at my... I got a little bit more juice in me. We can try and see if we can secure a horse and cart if you want.
I mean, yeah, we can try. I don't know.
Okay.
Does there look like anyone here sells and or rents out carts?
No, they don't sell or rent cart.
That is really unfortunate.
Yeah,
Kind of looks like we're on foot.
Yeah, it's too bad none of us know how to properly sail a boat,
Yeah,
I think, right?
I'm better
I mean,
on land.
you don't need to know. You don't need to have the proficiency in the skill. It just helps in case something happens.
Yeah.
It's easier to manage the ship to safety. But it depends on, the whims of the world to see if there will be some sort of weird currents or whatever going on with you.
So it's 4 days by water, or some interminable amount of time by boat, basically.
By water.
Well,
By water. Are we?
We're also coasting
using
along
water
the
to
edge,
walk?
so
well, I'm not good at boats. I've never done boats. I'm good at walking, though.
yeah. Can a boat even handle your size?
I mean, buoyancy is a very interesting thing.
Wait, what about Derek, didn't we just discover he wandered off into the forest?
Yeah, that's kind of the direction I was thinking of starting. If we kind of... I mean, I know the woods are a dangerous place, but... I'm going to guess Finn teleported. Derek has either teleported or is just wandering out in the freaking woods right now. And, yeah.
Oh, right. They did make it policy to, like, teleport outside of town so that they don't cause any destruction.
Right. So, I mean, we could try and follow, like, where Derek was going. I think I had his trail, but, you know, if we come to a space that's just like this whipped up circle kind of thing, then we know that they teleported, and then we can just head back to the road and start hiking. How's that sound for a plan?
Yes. Wait, do we know... Is there, like, a place that practices magic? Like, I don't know. I wanted to see if, like, we can, like, contact somebody that can send a message, you know, with the sending spell.
I wonder if Faye knows the sending spell.
Not in this backwaters place that you are. No, there's no magic practitioners here. And
Dang.
sorcerers don't know sending.
Yeah, they don't. That's a cleric thing, I think.
It's everyone's
So much-
thing but sorcerers.
Is it everyone but sorcerers? Wow. Brutal.
So much for sending out a magic telegram.
Sending out an SOS.
Oh, wait, does... Falcon, do you know?
Sending out.
Are you able to send messages?
Wait, who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you're the magic man.
Magic man.
I'm the magic man. So Falcon holds out a finger and points it directly at Stone Climb, and you see his muzzle moving really, really fast. But then all you hear is the word message.
Okay.
Great, now send the... And I message back to him since it's a two-way thing. Great, can you send that over to Redemption where Finn is at?
I'm just literally
Yes.
watching these two, like, mime at each other. Like, no talking.
The
Message
spell.
has a range of 120 feet. You can pull your finger towards a creature with a range and whisper a message. This is exactly what Falcon is saying in his ear. You can cast a spell through solid
Yeah.
objects you're familiar with the target and know is beyond the barrier of magical spells. One for the stone, it's come metal. A thin sheet of letter, 3 feet of wood blocks the spell. The spell doesn't have to follow a straight line. It can travel freely around corners through openings. Clasps his hands. No.
Cool.
So then
So
you
we're
hear
walking
back,
then.
the message you hear back from Stormclimb is... We're sorry, the number you were trying to reach is not available. Please hang up and dial again.
Holy shit, a rat.
Oh my god, it's a talking rat. Whoa.
But
Oh
yeah,
my god. Okay, so
yeah, because
if you two are done staring at each other really intensely, shall we start walking?
Okay, yeah, let's just head back to Redemption because if Derek walked off into the forest, more than likely he probably teleported somewhere.
Yep. I say we get walking.
Okay.
All right. Where are you walking?
Well, I want to trace after Derek, kind of into the woods, see if we can find a space and confirm that they teleported before we go walking off.
Is this what the rest of the group wants to do as well?
That is what I want to do.
I'm along for the ride. It's not like I can overpower
What
Drakdarin, so.
do you think, Falcon? Forest or just straight up walking back?
Or we camp at the castle.
I mean, oh no. I'm
What are we do we have the option of the road or the forest? Is that what you're asking me?
Well, no, I'm just asking, like, you know, would it be a better idea to go see if Derek didn't just wander off into the woods and did actually teleport and then go to the road and then follow it? Or do we just want to go to the road with the concept and confidence that hopefully the two spellcasting types did in fact use their teleportation to get home?
Hey, Doug,
Is-
Yes.
can I just, like, do an insight check about Derek to see if he seems capable enough to, like, do the spell and walk off into the woods to do that spell rather than being carried off by his whimsy. Like, can we just detective work this so we can avoid going into the woods?
Um, I have absolutely no idea what it was that you are asking me to do, but you don't know the full extent of Derek's magical capabilities, and you're not entirely sure where how that would have worked. You did. I failed to mention this, by the way, but you did see that the tracks that Derek left wasn't only like his own horseshoes on the ground. There was also a set of footprints beside
Okay.
his.
So Finn's with him then.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy peasy. Never mind. Road time it is then.
Yep. On the road again.
I'll turn to Faye, who I've been kind of huddling along this whole time. Be like, are you okay with walking for like 4 whole days?
I believe I am. I think this vessel is somewhat weak and would need food and sustenance and rest, but I think I should be able to hold on.
We really need to talk about that whole like talking like a person thing. Yeah, no, we've got all those things. We will rest. We won't just walk for 4 days straight. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. All right then. Falcon, Faye, Stormclimb, you get it easy. You get to ride on me all the whole time.
I mean, it's such hard work trying to balance myself on top of you.
I should
Ah.
start charging you money. I am not an Uber.
It's an Uber.
What's an Uber? All right.
You know
So we
my
get-
theory? She's a
Hmm.
giant wasp. Yeah, right?
Okay. Let's walk and talk about that one then, I guess.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright, so all of you then start leave the city of Bunder behind, for better or for worse.
Hopefully for better.
Sorry.
Wonder.
Let's not kid ourselves.
We're
And
gonna come
Blunder
back
was
here
a blunder.
eventually. There's gonna be a whole town trying to lynch us.
considering how much you have already done, how much you have already walked today, I'm gonna say that you can only walk for 4 more hours today before you need to stop.
That's understandable.
So
We'll just get a ways down because we need to rest. The wizard needs to study.
sure. So from the 80 kilometers it'll take for you guys to go from Bunder to Southchester Polder, you travel 20. Or are you going on a faster pace?
No, I think we should just go normal pace. Nothing crazy.
Unless Drac Darren wants to carry everybody and try to go running full speed.
I'm not gonna Hercules this whole thing.
Yep.
I'm just gonna literally carry 3 people, 2 in a rat.
That's not what I wanted to get.
One under each arm.
So yeah, you'll travel 20 kilometers. That's more than enough. So, the travel along the road is pretty tranquil. There's nothing too weird, too wild, or too crazy that happens. And it's mostly just an interesting walk as you get to coast along the road. Except that 3 hours into this walk, you'll notice. In fact, you don't notice yet. I would like everyone to make a wisdom perception check to see if you do notice.
Thought he was gonna give us a free notice.
I almost did.
So close.
Just slapped your dice to 12.
I know. You slapped it. Well, on my screen, you slapped it from a 20 to a 10, and I was like, I swear to God. If that changes the final roll, I am going to be upset.
I was about to
Oh no.
just scream.
Suddenly you hear a blue dragonborn just going "Ree!"
Ah! Shooting lightning into the sky.
But no, As you guys are walking, direct daring, you being taller than everyone else, you are able to see a little bit better over the crest of some low hills and trees and such. And you do see in the distance what seems to be some sort of a half-collapsed tower. And it strikes you as odd that it's very well hidden amongst some trees. But what really catches your attention is a glimmer that you see at the very top of this tower. As you look up, you see what appears to be some sort of a triangular shape. In fact, the tower has a triangular shape, and at the very top there seems to be a little battlement, just like the top of the tower. And there is a smaller triangular shape over there that is shining and reflecting the light of the sun that is setting over the horizon, and that catches your attention, and you look at that and say, "Huh, I wonder what that is."
Hey, Stormclimb,
Yeah,
you up for a flight real quick?
yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
And
You see
Alright.
that tower? I want you to go see what that is. Don't get too close.
Okay, Roger, I'll do that. And so Stormclimb hops onto Damocles, and they blast off out of the sheet. And yeah, so yeah, blast off, and they fly up into the air and try to get a better look at the tower, and just like slowly approach it, but not get too close.
You sever many branches along the way as Damocles just cuts through them, and you fly all the way over to the top of the tower. Whereupon, as you approach, you see that at the top of the tower, the only thing there is a trap door that seems to lead to further down below the tower. You do see that there is the side of the tower that is collapsed and broken, and inside you can see that there used to be some sort of stairwell, but it also has collapsed, and the top of the tower has remained inaccessible. And you imagine that the trapdoor leads to that staircase, and it was the only way in and out of there. And at the very middle of these of the rooftops of this tower, you see there is a chair, some sort of a somewhat slightly ornate wooden chair. The vegetation has already reclaimed some of this tower, so there's vines and moss covering several parts of it. And sitting on this chair is a skeleton. You see that it's still wearing some clothes that has been that are somewhat tattered, and in a far along process of this repair. It's bad, his clothes as a whole. And you see that this skeleton is just sitting on the chair on a somewhat regal pose with his arms resting on the armrests, and on top of his head there is a triangular hat that seems metallic because it's shining and reflecting the sunlight very brightly.
Okay, what? Like, this isn't a crown, it's like a dunce cap?
Yeah, a
I'm
metallic
trying
dunce
to
cap.
picture- I'm just trying to picture a triangle hat. Like, what could that be? Okay, so I've still got one more divine sense left. Why not? Let's do it. Divine sense.
Sure, you
Is
sense. You sense nothing.
Okay, so the skelly is just a skelly.
Yeah, the Skelly is just a Skelly. It's not an undead Skelly. It's a dead
Okay,
Skelly.
Is it
So-
Pyramid Head?
Okay, so there's just this shiny, well, what Dre said, pyramid head hat, and what else?
And
The skelly.
there's just that. There's just a Skelly with the hat on his head.
And you said the chair was ornate.
Somewhat ornate, not super ornate, but it's like not just a chair. It has a little bit of bevels here and there and some curves and silly things to make it look a little bit more pretty, but not that much.
I kick off the skeleton and grab the chair.
With what
Oh,
strength?
wait, hold on. But,
You're not strong
there's
enough to
investigate-
lift it.
I have a 10 strength, good sir.
You are
with
a rat.
proficiency in athletics.
You are a tiny rat. I mean, that strength only helps you in combat.
With an Eidolon?
Yeah, with the Eidolon, but no, you can't do that just anywhere.
Okay, fine. So is
Do you want to
I
kick the
guess
skeleton?
Investigate for traps. Let's be smart about this.
Sure, make another wisdom perception.
Don't suppose there's like any smell wouldn't be involved. There's no like oil around, so let's just go with normal perception.
Yeah, there's nothing smell related here.
9, totally safe.
So safe, like, oh my dog, it's so safe. There's no traps whatsoever in here.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to how am I gonna get this chair?
Your whole goal right now is to take this chair? Is that what
It's
you're doing?
It's a very nice chair.
It is a
okay?
chair.
It's a chair.
Oh my god.
You relate to one
I
another
giving you-
through message.
Am I giving you flashbacks to Critical Role?
We are not making everything about a chair. I'm not doing that.
But it's just so nice. Let's see. I don't really have any. So I really can't carry it.
Sure.
You can't carry it. You can finagle your way to kind of push it all the way to the edge and then just give it a little push that so it falls from the tower. You can't.
Does it look like it can even survive the fall?
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, question 2, how tall is this tower?
It's tallish. It's about 40 or 50 feet high.
That chair is gonna be Tinder.
You imagine
You
that
don't
your
wa-
you imagine that your companions could catch it on the way down, or hopefully the trees will brace some of the impact.
That's what I was going to ask next. Because, like, I mean, like, it could fetch a pretty penny, maybe.
It is a chair.
It might be a very nice chair, or it could be an
Oh.
enchanted chair.
Or it could
Or
be a
no.
literal cursed chair.
Even better.
No!
That means somebody will definitely want to buy it in, like, the black market or something.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, I'm going to ask my friends to see if they can catch this chair that we can store for later. Maybe even use it for a new place.
Is this just... could I, like, just go into this tower and up it, or is this thing, like, impassable?
You can go into the tower. In fact, you do so. The door is no longer there; it has long fallen off. And you go through the portal, the entrance, and once you see, there is a staircase, but it's the half portion of it is completely broken, and it's just rubble on the base. And there's a 20-foot gap before before the lower portion of the staircase and the upper portion of the staircase. 20 feet vertical gap.
Are you strong enough to jump that far?
I was gonna say, I can almost jump that high, but not quite.
Okay, you want me to, rope you up?
You can certainly try and tie a rope off at the top, and I can certainly guess if it's gonna hold my weight in this dilapidated structure.
Oh, wait, I just only need you to catch it, so it's gonna be fine.
I want to know about that corpse.
Oh, right, fine.
The
one of the
chair
thing-
is secondary. There is a body.
So as Drek asked about that, remind Stormclimb to check the pockets of this thing and see if there's any, like, I don't know, notes.
Check the body. Check out that hat. Don't touch the hat.
It's a shiny hat, but it's not like Stormclimb can wear it, so it's like that's why he's not really interested in it.
Falcon, do you have any inputs you would like to present?
Just kind of crouches down, looks Drac up and down a little bit, pokes him on the thigh, and casts Fly.
What?
Yes.
Just kind of floating up.
Floating.
So, Dractarian,
Now follow me, Peter Pan.
suddenly you feel your body becoming sort of weightless as you seem all that force that used to drag you down. Suddenly it seems gone as you kind of hop up and down, and suddenly one of these hops you just don't come back. But then you realize that whoa, you have absolute control of your body in the air. It feels magical. It feels amazing. It feels so good. To be infused by this magic and to be able to fly as it happens.
That is so cool.
Right?
Oh
Now
my
we
god.
can
What? I am missing out. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's so awesome to be able to fly. And I'm basically like, I don't know, do like an air skateboard ollie trick around him and stuff.
I'm just going to, I guess, fly up to the top of this tower.
Sure.
Oh, right. So I wanted to invest to check out this corpse while Drac was flying up. So what was did I find anything?
Make a intelligence investigation check. Storm climb. And Falcon, you instinctively duck as this
Shit.
gigantic dragonborn that has never flown before suddenly takes off, nearly kicking and trashing with his legs and tail, and almost breaking a tree halfway upwards. And you realize that maybe giving Drakdarian the power of flight might have been a very hazardous idea for those not flying.
Falcon kind of like does pseudo lean back from the flying dragon, and in both of his hands are what appear to be two glow sticks casted by prestidigitation. Like the kind for
Guide the
air
plane.
control.
Guide the plane out.
Yeah, you start making signals that mean something to someone, but who knows what they mean. Storm climb.
Having a good time.
It takes you a long while to go through this whole body, running up and down and through all of the pockets. It takes you a long time to even get close to finding anything, by the time of which I imagine Drakdarian you have already flown all the way to the top of the tower.
What the heck even is fly speed with fly cast on you?
60.
60?
Yeah.
Holy crap, I'm so fast. Shoo!
You fly to the top of the tower in 6 seconds. 5
Oh
even.
my god. 5 even, yeah.
And there you
Fly
see...
up, land. What's up?
And there you see you see the same chair that Stormclimb described, with a skeleton sat on it, wearing some old leathers, tattered here and there, and a metallic triangular dunce cap sitting on top of this not super majestic but somewhat fancy chair. And as soon as you land, you feel like the tower seems to shake and wobble a little bit. And
Oh, you better hover.
Yeah, still just not necessarily used to the whole flying thing.
dust
This
and
does not feel sturdy.
dust and pebbles just unsettle from the whole structure, and they start to fall down a little bit here and there. And you imagine that if you're not very careful with your weight in this tower, you're going to send the whole thing down. It doesn't have a whole lot of structural integrity after one whole part of this wall went down.
Fair. I'll just kind of hover myself off the ground a little bit then, and I'll come over and I guess just pick up the chair with the body and everything.
Oh, everything, okay.
I'm just going to take the whole thing. So we can put it somewhere that isn't the top of a tower that might collapse if I shift my weight too far to one side.
So,
That's why you hover.
easily enough, you pick up the chair.
Is this the chair you wanted? Like, it's just a chair.
I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just like looks really nice. I kind of like it. And I kind of want it.
You can't even sit in a normal chair. It is a chair.
But it's a fancy chair. That's what matters.
My god. Alright, fine. We'll
Hey, it's
bring
not
the
my
chair
fault
to...
your ass got too big to sit in a normal chair.
Hey, whoa! When did this become about me?
Just saying.
You're
I
the
really
one who
like
wants the
that
chair. Okay, I
Yes.
get that. A, it's probably not going to fit in the bag of the holding. Just first and foremost.
Fit that breastplate.
Well, true. Let's just figure out what is going on here. I'm going to take this chair, and I'm going to bring it back down to ground level where Falcon is.
Sure, at this point, you... Some bits and bobs of the skeleton come loose during the travel, and you leave one whole of his arm and leg behind, but
Oh.
as they just kind of fly off of his tattered clothes and just rain somewhere in this forest. But then you go back down, and most of the body is there, the clothes are still there, and now the chair is safely on the ground, and both you, Drakdaring, and Falcon can make an intelligence investigation check.
I was gonna say, did you find anything on this body?
You-
Just the hat. It's very fancy, but haven't been able to find anything else of interest.
Me neither.
Unfortunately, the whole distraction of having the chair and the body picked up and flew down distracts you too much, Stormclimb, from your investigation. In you, Drakdaring, you're as soon as you put the chair down, you just kind of give a look over at the body and you're like, yeah, fuck that, I'm gonna fly, and you just do spins around the tower.
Yeah. How long does the spell last for? I'm gonna fly the whole time.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. I'm taking a 10-minute lap. That's what we're doing. See ya.
And then you just start flying overhead the whole around the whole region, just seeing how far up you can go, how fast you can go from one side to another. Somewhat distracting, but regardless, it seems like Falcon can completely zone out at times like this when there's a flying dragonborn, and he'd focus on this chair and his body. And Falcon, what you find is that this body is holding sorry, is holding a on one of its pockets it has what appears to be some sort of emblem, some sort of crest, metallic and emblazoned with some symbols here and there, and it doesn't seem that familiar from the top of your head.
Hmm.
And that's all you find in this body, in the clothes that this body is wearing.
Well, picks up dead bones, tosses dead bones to side.
You pick up some of these dead bones and toss them aside. Little by little, the only bones that remains are those that are tucked away inside the clothes. And at the end, the only thing that is left is just trousers, a jacket, both leather, some belts that are still going around the waist and the shoulder, and the skull atop its shoulders, and the metal hat on top of it. All of that sat neatly and very well balanced on top of this chair.
Can I investigate that?
Sure.
Examine it or something?
Make an Sure, just because this was something recent, make an Intelligence Arcana check.
Did it roll twice?
Looks like it did.
You rolled
twice
literal
in
polar
1 second.
opposites.
Those are two very conflicting results. I will say roll again, please.
Okay. That was weird.
It was weird.
Very weird.
Sure, that'll work. Actually, let me see if it will work. What rarity is this shenanigery? Just gotta double check real quick. But
It's a magic hat.
oh no, you figured it out.
Oh my god, what a crazy concept.
Oh no.
So you start analyzing this hat to pull it off. It's literally a very tall triangular hat, a dunce hat, but made of metal, and the brim is also metallic. And when you pick it up and you look inside, there's many draconic runes written on the inside of this hat. And as you start looking at these runes, a lot of them start to feel familiar, and then as you look around, you're like, oh, I was seeing this earlier today. These are the same runes of that scroll I was trying to decipher, the one for comprehending languages. And you imagine that this might be a helm of comprehending languages.
Might be.
You
Might be.
you don't have identify to be sure. I mean, you didn't cast identify to be sure, but from your Arcana check, you imagine that it might be a helm of comprehend languages. You will need to make sure.
Fancy, fancy, fancy. And he tucks it away and then stares at the remaining skull, pondering.
The skull just sits there, the jaw kind of loose, ajar, and just watching the sunset longingly.
So Stormcloud's gonna say, "Hey, Faye, what do you think of this skull when you look at it? You get any readings from it?"
As Faye looks at him, she just starts going off. Oh, what a sad end for Anel. Anel. He used to be part of the House of Leda. He was posted on this tower. The tower unfortunately collapsed after an attack from the sea creatures, and he was trapped on the top. Nobody came for him, and he died, waiting for rescue that never came. Then again, the whole coastal region lost all of its many forts and support. Nobody came for anyone else either. This whole region is littered with corpses and skeletons. Most of them have been buried though, or the nature has reclaimed them. This one though was on the top of this tower.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess life really fucked Anal over.
No! Why?
Your fault, Doug.
You
This
need
is your
to
fault.
enunciate. You need to spell the names out if you're gonna say names, Doug.
Come
Just
on.
throwing that out there. I was right too, for once on a name. It's 2 syllables. It is A&L.
Anal and dildo. My God.
No,
this
A&L.
is like no,
This
but
is on Twitch.
but this is also another. This is also another. There's also that other character named Dildo. Like, there's. I'm sorry that I have such a filthy mind, but I can't help it.
This is your own damn fault.
I'm really
No one
sorry.
else was thinking this.
I don't know what came over me when I wrote this name 7 months ago, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Okay.
Has 10 minutes elapsed?
Yes, 10 minutes has
I
elapsed.
I try and get close to the ground and maybe plummet 10 feet out of the sky. As fly ends. And
You-
try and do like a 3-point landing like I'm a total badass.
You plummet and you do a sort of a 3-point landing. Make an acrobatics check. Dexterity acrobatics for me, please.
Yes.
As you.
Uh-oh.
Cool. Dope.
It's okay, I have a lot of health.
Strike daring.
Yep.
You don't do a 3-point landing. And you, on top of all that, you suffer 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Face first into the dirt.
Pretty much.
Hearing hearing the thud behind him, Falcon just kind of mutters under his breath every time.
Hey guys! Poof.
Well, thanks for analyzing that. Hey. Anyways, okay, guys. I guess let's get a move on. Can you?
I'm taking the skull with me.
Okay, cool. Can somebody help me
Taking the
with
school
pushing this chair into the bag of holding?
Why are we taking the chair?
It's a really nice chair.
We are not taking the chair. This makes no sense.
He's taking a skull and a hat. Why can't I take this chair?
The hat is probably magical. Skulls, at least, are kind of weird. It is a chair. I'll make you a chair when we get back to redemption.
This is a
I'm
really
bringing a
nice
companion
chair.
with us.
I'll make a better
Look at this
chair.
poor guy.
You're really bringing the skull of a dead person?
Yeah, why not? I feel bad for him.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll try and cram this chair into the bag of holding and hope that it doesn't break the bag of holding.
You gotta make sure you bring the skull of Aino with you.
Oh my god.
And sure, you kind of begrudgingly, but you do push the chair inside of the bag of holding.
I imagine I would probably actually just like take the bag of holding and open the top and like try and shove it over the top instead.
It's a weird shimmy that you do. It's mostly you just kind of lay it flat on the ground and then you kind of start pulling and then you pull it off again and you try many ways and you seem to find one way that is optimal eventually. It takes you some time, but
Oh.
eventually goes in.
Well, all right. Now I have a chair, I guess.
Let's see, ornate chair, or how would you describe this, Doug?
Ornate
it's
chair
a
is
chair.
fine.
Tell me more about this chair.
It's
No,
ornate,
we're
but not too
not.
much.
Oh my god, we're not sharing it up. I am not cherishing this experience right now.
Ah,
And with that, concluding that your business in this abandoned tower was over, you guys kept going for one more hour as the sun finally set, and you all, as you saw that the darkness was starting to surround all of you, you decided to then make camp or keep traveling. Up to you.
Nope. Let's make some camp. I'm going to try
Alright.
and find somewhere off the road, and just kind of set up a tent, mostly for them, less for me.
Sure, it's easy enough. This whole area is sort of like a hill, grassland hills that just goes downwards towards the shore, where there's somewhat of a here and there. There's a beach, and but it's mostly easy to find a vast empty area where you can set down camping supplies.
Wonderful. Just kind of, make up a nice little cozy campsite, and maybe start a campfire. And just kind of settle in.
All right, all of you then come closer together as the darkness starts to take over the land, and the only available light is that of this campfire that Drakdaring has got going, and all of you decide to get closer to shield yourselves from whatever might be lurking out into this open field. And then all of you just start to set down all of your things, putting... I imagine you have a bedroll.
I do. I have the huge one that Ender made for me.
Do you have a bedroll, Falcon?
Do I have a bedroll? Let me take a second. Do I have a bedroll? I do not have a bedroll.
Oh no.
Cool, neither does Faye.
I can sleep on the dirt if you guys want to use mine. Like, it's fine.
King-size bedroll.
Yeah, basically. It's like 2.5 bedrolls stitched together.
Fair enough.
Sure.
You set down the bedroll, and it's more than enough space for Falcon and Faye to lay down and start resting. A little bit from all the traveling that you all have done back and forth, and all the fighting you did much earlier that day, and you have a whole lot of time before sleep actually comes to you and you decide to go to bed. So you have, I would say, about... It's 7 in the evening now. You have about 4 hours of downtime if there's anything you want to do.
So what Stormclimb would like to do is read this book he got from the festival, the Creator of My Imagination book.
Sure, let me find it here. Ah, fun. It was the first note. Good. At least I keep my notes easy to find. Mostly. Sure. It's a whole odd read. It takes you about 3 hours to read through the entire book. But it talks about this guy. It's sort of the memoirs of this man by the name of Gita, who lived a long time ago, and he traveled a lot and met a lot of people, and he talks of these persons from a faraway continent that seemed to know a bit too much about things, and he traveled over there eventually to learn what else they knew. And these people talked of forbidden knowledge and magic that should never be brought back. And this man Gita, being the curious person that he was, decided that to go and seek out more of this. Eventually, he traveled back to the northern kingdoms, and eventually he made his way to to the to a big ass city, to Sofak, where he found a very big college, where many arcanists gathered and discussed many ideas, and some people knew of this place, of this magic that should never be brought back, and they called it the chaos, and they called the entity that controlled all of this chaos, they called it Cosme. And they said that they had ways of allowing someone to commune with Cosme and seeing beyond the veil. And by doing it, this man got glimpses of what he calls the chaotic other side, and things that could have been and things that couldn't possibly be. He saw things that defied the rules of this world and things that he could never imagine, and he could feel himself challenging his very notion of reality once the people from this college told him that this used to be the way the world was before the fall of this entity, and that lurking in the shadows are people who worship this entity and want to bring it back. And he decided to write his memoirs, hoping that to not be alive to see the day when this entity has been able to return to this world. And that is what you learn reading this book.
Is there like afterword or something that has information about Gita? Like if it's if Emma like basically is there any clue in the book that allows me to figure out if Gita might be alive or dead?
You get the sense that this book was written centuries ago. He's dead.
Okay.
He's dead he's dead AF.
Okay.
This dude dead.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd probably try to ask what they saw, but since this is a published book and doesn't really have any, like, emotional energy to it, if that makes sense, I think that's probably it. I think that's what I'll do. That's it.
Alright. So, Falcon, what are you doing with this 4 hours that you have of downtime?
I'm writing down a scroll.
Sure. You decide that this is a perfect opportunity for you to plop down your inks, your fancy paper, and start writing down some of your spell scrolls. So, because you have 2 hours, well, you know, you're a big boy, you know the rules of writing scrolls. I'll let you I'll let you go and do your thing.
You know how to do this.
Or
I love
do you want a refresher?
I'm gonna write down identify.
Sure. It takes 2 hours and 50 gold pieces per spell level.
Yep.
And I believe Identify is a first level spell?
It is a first level spell.
Okay, so you get to write down Identify, and you have time to write another first level spell if you want to.
I only have 49 gold.
Well, it's amazing how there's like 2,000 gold in this here bag of holding, huh?
I mean, if you want me to sit there and learn another spell.
Do you want to learn more spells?
I do like magic.
I'm going to dump just $50 in your hands then. Do with it what you will. You'll need this.
The dollars begin to dissolve as knowledge is obtained.
Oh, sorry, gold. Dollar you do
throw it
is-
into the fire and let it burn. Okay,
Dollar.
I learned
It
it.
just throws in the fire and you just see a +1 to knowledge over his head.
Bring!
Money is
I will also learn Unseen Servant.
I thought you learned that already.
Nope, he
Actually,
hadn't
I
learned
think I
any of
did.
the things that he bought.
Because I know he casted it at the bathhouse.
Oh, we might have learned that
I
one.
forget how magic works.
How does magic work?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know how magic works the first 2 sessions, to be very honest with you.
To be,
Honestly, fair.
to be honest, it's kind of like magnets.
Yeah, it's how do they work? They're all around us.
It's like, oh, this tells me everything I know about being a wizard, and then just like the 3 companion books are sneaking up behind me with clubs.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you think you know what you're talking about?
So, a Falcon, you spend your 4 hours of downtime just writing spells and deciphering these scrolls and mostly being frustrated at the handwriting and the notations of this person and why do they use Imperial system to write down measurements of material components and why couldn't they use metric? Or even better, why couldn't they use just stones for weighing things? And it bothers you, but it takes you some time to convert everything and translate from other languages back to you, and you write it all down in your spell book.
As somebody who has moved between countries, you have caused a certain amount of pain behind my right eyeball.
As someone who regularly has to switch between Imperial and metric constantly during the day at his work, I'm screaming internally.
And
I know the pain.
that's what you do with your downtime, Falcon. Now, how about you, Drekdaring?
I would like to sit down and talk with Faye a little.
Sure. She is sitting down on the bed, I guess eating rations.
Oh yeah, I would have dished out rations to everybody just so that we're not going to die of hunger.
Yeah, she's just eating her rations and drinking some water and looking longingly at at nothing really, at the horizon, but it's pitch black, so she's just looking at nothing. Well, the sky. The sky is pretty. She's looking at the pretty sky, and then as you sit down in front of her, she looks to you and just seems to very earnestly look at you, but you see like her expression, her face doesn't change at all, but it feels like something's going on there, like she's analyzing you, even though her face isn't moving a single muscle. Hello, Drekdaring.
Faye, hi. I was thinking over the day, you seem to just like know things. Right, just basically everything. I mean, you were spouting some weird crap down in that tower. Do you just like look at someone and know everything about them?
I've been made private, just know what has happened in the past.
Can you know, or do you just know things? Like if I asked you a question about a person who's, I don't even know where, would you be able to tell me about them?
Speak your mind, Drekdaring.
I want to know if my friends are okay. Krill and Salazar and all of them back home. I mean, obviously I haven't kept up with them. I've been thinking about them recently.
They are anxious. There's distress in them. The four of you were a unit together. Ever since you left, Drakdarian, the order of the Northern Might wasn't the same anymore. They called in a couple new recruits, but even 2 of them couldn't fill the hole that you left behind. And it's even more pressing and complicated now that they are going against such a powerful foe.
What do you mean? Where are they? Do you know where they are?
They are
Or what
marching.
they're fighting?
They're marching to the shores of Lurbach. They are going to fight invading forces from the magistrate. They've been sending Shinsu to spy and infiltrate the northern kingdoms. Your former family, has been hired as mercenaries to help fight against them and drive them back. Eventually, if everything goes according to plan and they do drive the invaders back, your family, your friends, they'll be traveling to the southern kingdoms, to the Empire of Taiji. And they'll be attacking the city of Teles. Make their way to Olgazan to try and disrupt the magistrate. But the magistrate is far too powerful. They hold the other book, you know. And they have too many magicians at their side. Your friends are ill-informed. They don't know what they're facing. And hopefully, for their luck, they don't get to go too far.
Well, that is making me far more anxious than I thought it would. If only I had a way to get a message back home. Thank you. That both helps and worries me greatly.
Drek Daring. I don't know what came over me. Well, to be honest, I do what came over me. But I know now firsthand. I was eager and thirsty for knowledge, for power, and now that I have it, that it's been imparted upon me, I know now that too much knowledge can damage the mind. I won't hold back in my answers, but think really deeply if you do want to know said answers before you ask me the questions.
I understand.
From your current position, there is nothing you can do to help your friends, and these anxieties could very well become your undoing if you don't let go of it.
Yeah, I understand. They're just very important to me, that's all.
And you are very important to them as well. The recruits that they have gotten, they will never fill the hole that you left behind.
Change topics so I'm not being too pushing. This book that we found with you, what is it? And you said this other kingdom had the other book? What are these books?
People from before, they wrote many things in these books. Knowledge. But not only that, they also wrote methods of acquiring more knowledge to harness the power of chaos that Cosme holds, and to attain even if the slimmest, tiniest of fractions of the power that Cosme has. And somehow they managed to cram it all into these books. The persons that could that possesses these books, they could find the answer to everything. These books are all different, though. They grant different things. They grant different insights. The book I possess has many knowledge of from the past, things that have happened. There are other books, though. Your friends at the Adventurers Guild possess the other book. But the strongest, most powerful of these books is with the magistrate.
And you said that was in what kingdom?
The southern kingdoms, the Empire of Taiji. The magistrate in Algazan, they hold another one of those books. The one that they have is sentient. It can speak to people. This book I hold and the book at the Adventurers Guild can't do that. Which makes it the one that they have far more powerful and far more safe to those who know how to shield their minds from it.
That is quite the weapon to have indeed.
You see now why it would not do well for your friends to go against the magistrate.
And there's nothing I could possibly do to warn them, or to... if I could just get a message to them.
There are many things you could do, Drakdarian. The future is uncertain. The book gave me many insights and many knowledge of things from the past, but not from the future. The chaos of Cosme is too powerful to set the future events in stone. The future is mutable. Everything could become anything at any moment. You now possess knowledge that could change the course of many lives. I, too, possess same power.
And what does Finn want with it?
Finn... he wants to go against the magistrate as well. He seeks this book, and once he has it, both him and the dragon are going to go try and seek the almighty gifts, and with their power, take down the magistrate.
Well, I didn't realize Finn had such big ambitions. He always kind of seemed goofy.
The magistrate holds something very dear to the dragon. And both him and Finn and Regariant, they have an agreement between the three of them. And Finn is only seeking to fulfill his end of their agreement.
Did you say that name one more time?
Regariant, the Blizzard of the West.
Who is that? Is that another dragon?
It is. He is the oldest dragon amongst us.
You say us like you're...
Among those who are alive in this world, in this
I
realm.
see. And they made a a deal. To what? Take down this magistrate, get back some keepsake.
Dragon
To what
eggs.
Excuse me?
Take back dragon eggs, not simple keepsakes.
Hmm. You'll have to tell me more. I'm a stranger in these lands.
I sense some trepidation from you, Drekdari. I fear I might have told you a little bit too much for your mind to handle right now. Are you sure you want to know more?
No. No, we should either leave it for another time or I'm sure things will become clear in time.
Very well. Thank you for taking care of me and taking me back.
Thank you for bringing me together with these other interesting individuals. In a way, you sort of kickstarted this whole thing.
There is truth to what you say. Half truths, but truths nonetheless. Good night, Drekdari.
Good night, Faye. I'll just get up and kind of go sit away from the campfire a little bit, just thinking. And then probably go to sleep.
Away from the camp. Is anyone keeping watch, by the way?
Well, that's kind of what I mean, like, just not away from the camp, but, like, not at the fire, just looking around. I have dark vision.
Okay, alright. Oh, the D&D staple.
Falcon's looking at books. Stormclimb's reading a book. Everyone's looking at books.
Even
The crow is
Damocles.
watching.
Sure, so yeah, whoever's keeping the first watch, make me a wisdom perception check.
I can do that.
I would hope you would be able to do that.
I'm sure gonna be able to do that. So if I'm a perception, there it is. Oh my gibbity Jesus!
Oh my gosh.
All right, ones.
Cool, okay.
Sure.
I hope Damocles can catch whatever's coming. He's got 60 feet of blind vision.
Is Damocles keeping watch as well? Along with Drekdari?
He doesn't sleep, so it's like I think he'd be just keeping watch regardless, you know, just like, I don't know, hovering in the air above our sleeping companions, watching over them. Yeah, that's
With his
that's comfortable.
googly eyes.
Sure. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Like, oh, Damocles, if you see something, just spin real fast, make helicopter
Spin
noises.
fast enough to make
Or-
a noise,
Or send a telepathic alarm to Stormclimb.
or hit someone. I don't know.
Sure, make a wisdom perception check for Damocles as well.
Ooh, he is not good at that. And I can't open the Damocles' profile for some reason.
You should be able to.
I gotta refresh it.
Okay, do that. And then roll your perception check. While Damocles is keeping an eye out, what you see, Drekdari, is as you're sitting down and you look to the side, you see some trees. Between the trees, you see a big shape between the trees. It seems to be moving far off into the distance, because you're camping like halfway between the road and the edge of the forest, and on the very edge there seems to be, well, there's trees on the edge of the forest, and a little bit further inside you see some shapes moving, and they seem like massive shapes, but it's a touch too far away, and you're definitely alarmed, but you can't make out what it is, if at all.
I'm probably also mostly just lost in thought.
Are we getting a roll for Damocles?
I think it's still reconnecting.
Yeah, it just won't let me access it.
Do you want me to roll for him?
Yes, please roll it. Okay, this is taking way too long for me to log back in.
Alright. Perception for Damocles. Ooh. I should stop rolling for you guys.
What happened?
Because it was actually good.
I rolled an 18, natural 18, minus 3 is a
Yeah.
15. Damocles.
It's a -3? Oh my god.
He's a sword with no eyes other than those false googly eyes.
Oh god.
Alright, so Storm Climb, in the 60 feet of blind sight that Damocles has, nothing harmful or hostile comes near the camp.
Okay, I'm back in. So that's good.
For the entire time that Drakdaring is keeping watch, nothing seems to approach the camp. And after some 4 hours of just, keeping watch, eventually everyone is asleep, and you decide that it's time for you to sleep as well, Drakdaring, as you go to wake one of your companions up. So who's taking X watch?
Smack Falcon on the arm.
Yes.
Hey, wake up.
Hey,
I need you to keep an eye out. I need to catch some sleep. I'm tired.
drag Self over with the staff, just slowly pulling him until he eventually stands up at the fire.
Just keep an eye out and yell if you see anything weird.
Oh, thank God I loaded back in. I've been sitting here for like 10 minutes. Okay.
So, Falcon, as you're keeping watch alone, except that there's actually a flying sword overhead, keeping an eye on, quote unquote, googly eyes on the environment around you, you spend a very boring 4 hours just keeping watch at camp, making sure that nothing harmful approaches you all. So, I would like you to go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check.
I'm going to have my bird do it as well, because he's also flying around.
Sure, even better. So the two of you roll a wisdom perception check. To check for weird shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Ooh. So, Falcon, you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. You don't see anything dangerous or hostile happening close to you. What Zasalamel sees, though, is far off into the distance, amongst the trees in the forest. He does see his movement, but the movement doesn't seem at all to be made towards you. It seems like just things going from one place to another, something that moves during the night. And as the Salamel flies a little bit closer just to get an idea, notion of what it is, it seems that there are walking trees, and they are just going from one place to another, possibly migrating.
The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah.
And they just keep on going.
Alright.
And they don't seem to even give you or your friends any notice. There's just some trees walking along.
It's a good thing we're not on the path. Don't feel like getting stepped on by a tree anytime soon.
Yeah. At this time, Falcon, as you see that, well, as the Salamel relays that to you, you remember having heard many tales during your travels that near Redemption, the city where you were trying to go, there is a forest, the Aldheim Forest, which people call the Verdant Perdition, which is a forest believed to be haunted and incredibly magical in the bad way. Things happen in this forest and people go missing, and all manner of horrible things happen to those who are caught in there.
Oh, that's a lovely little mental sticky note I'm going to keep plastered on my brain.
And knowing of that, you'll make a mental note to possibly avoid the forest, if at all possible, in the future. And then eventually you go back to camp to keep watch for some more hours, until you all see this, well, you see the sun starting to rise, and then you possibly, in some manner, wake up your friends and colleagues. and all of you start reassembling your camping supplies to go back on the road and travel some more. So all of you have gone down, did a long rest. So write that down.
Thank God.
Okay. I guess I'll use prestidigitation to simulate a very soft alarm clock.
Ah, how lovely.
And
Exactly.
I'd like to brew some morning tea for everybody.
Sure, make a herbalism check.
Oh, Ander, I missed you so much.
Don't we all?
Just wake up on the ground in like
Oops.
a weird like murdered man pose, like chalk line pose, just like
I
Okay,
accidentally rolled twice.
Me too.
I'll consider the 20. So there's you can roll for tea. So go back on the tables and roll on the tea table.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find it.
All right, it's
Okay.
the rollable table stab, which is the three
Yeah,
horizontal lines.
Yeah, I found it. Let's see, what kind of tea are we having? Or is today a juice day? I
I-
kind of forgot what the teas and juices do anymore, so I forgot which one's best. So
experimentation.
I'll just go with tea for right now.
Sure. I mean, you said tea, so. Alright, so all
One.
um,
Jasmine green.
are you including Faye in the tea having party as well?
I mean, like, is she gonna fight?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, yes, dumb question of me to ask. Basically, what's the most I can make that gets me the highest result?
No, you can make tea for everyone. I'm just asking to see if Faye is having tea as well.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'll include her in that tea if there's like enough to go around.
Sure.
But, like, if it decreases the quality of the tea, then,
No, not at all. You rolled high enough for everyone to get the best effect. So that's a tier 3 jasmine green tea. What it does is that once during this day you can choose to activate the effects of the tea, so drag it to your character sheets. The effect that a jasmine green tea has on tier 3 is that you can choose to have 2 turns in a row.
What the fuck?
Nice.
That's
Use it wisely.
oh man, the action economy breaking right there.
Yeah, and that's where I
You
hope.
get an action surge. You get an action surge.
I
You
was
get an
gonna
action
say,
surge.
wow, it sure sounds like I can take solid, basically 3 turns in a row.
So, which is why I hope you all forget that you have said juices.
You bastard.
I will. I 100% will.
I mean, let's be honest. Yes, of course, that's probably gonna happen.
I have the worst memory when it comes to
So
that.
you do brew some juices, some tea. Everyone has tea, including Faye, and she seems a little bit more revitalized after having ate something and rested. In fact, you guys can go ahead and discount rations for today for everyone. But we already decided previously that Drek Daring and Stormclimb share the same ration, so only 3 rations. One for Drek and Stormclimb, one for Falcon, and one for Faye.
That makes life easy.
Actually, no. What the hell am I talking about? You don't share the same ration. You share.
yeah.
You have 1.5, and Stormclimb only needs the quarter
I was
of that
gonna say,
ration.
I thought it was more.
It is. It must.
Yeah.
My bad. Anyway, all of you have breakfast. You eat your rations. You pack your camp, and you get all of your things, and you're ready to keep marching towards Salcester Polder. Unless you have something else you want to do.
Probably right in the morning. How close are we to like the river?
Close enough.
Be able to take like to wake myself up, just completely throw myself into the river.
Sure. Sure. You go and walk into the open waters. This is not a river, this is an ocean, by the way.
I'm
Sorta. Like,
just throwing myself in a body of water.
sure, you throw yourself into this large body of water, and you let it refresh you. And it's just lovely.
Okay. Walking time? Walking time. Let's get walking.
Okay.
And yeah. Oh, right. Stormclimb is going to talk to Faye real quick and just check in with her and say, "How are you feeling today, Faye?" And also, he's going to keep out of eyesight from her so that she doesn't break down crying again.
Okay. Faye, she just seems to look in your general direction. I'm doing fine today. I think the food and the rest has helped. I feel more like I used to be before.
That's good. I hope that we can talk a little bit more along the way now that you're feeling more well rested and fed.
Of course. Hopefully we'll get to discuss more things as we travel together.
You really ought to make sure you actually sleep and need to know. Even if you have crazy, like, extra super special knowledge in your brain, your body is also very important.
I will keep that in mind.
Just want to make sure, because it did not seem like you were keeping that in mind before we found you.
I did not have someone to remind me of that.
Well, we're
what about
already
your
making a
friends?
great team.
Well, the only friend I had, you captured. J. Jenf.
Oh,
Yeah.
who were those people at the castle?
I don't know. There was a man there. He wasn't really a friend of mine. He was...
So,
He seemed to be there waiting for me when I showed up. As if he knew I would be showing up there.
Did this man have a name?
He does, but I don't remember.
why did you ask that?
Oh no!
Because names are important!
Is it really? You killed him,
Yes.
sorta.
Well-
Even if it's not a primary character.
I have
Well-
notes for a reason, damn it.
So Stormclimb feels like a lot better that they didn't like kill another friend of Faye's, even if that person was quite murderous to them. So then he asks, "So then, do you know who that was? Like, you said they seemed to know that they were waiting for you. Like they were waiting for you, knew that you were going to appear at that castle."
He was another one of them, of the people that I talked to before, the family that I thought I had, the followers of Kunivi Khan.
Ah. What? Why were you interested in Quanifica?
I wanted power and knowledge and to surpass my masters, to leave my origins behind and become someone different, someone more important, someone better. But
Oh, I see.
that costed me too much.
Do you regret it?
I think whether I regret or not won't change what happened. This has happened to me and there's nowhere to go but forward.
That's true. But, you know what? In my eyes, even though you've changed, you're still you. So, I think that no matter what's thrown at you right now, you know, basically, I just think that you're gonna be okay. And just like you seem very strong, and I'm pretty sure that with us and Finn's help, we'll help you through through this new state of you you've become.
Thank you. You too have changed ever since you came here.
Yeah, I had to make a lot of changes with my life and accept the things that I can't ever hope to have if I wanted to make sure that the people I care most are able to get home safely. You wouldn't happen to know. Look, if this is going to make you break down crying, you don't have to. But do you know where is Miguel? What happened to him?
What happened yesterday was unexpected. I had not had felt emotions in so long. It was a shock for me and my body, my mind. Don't worry, that won't happen again. And yes, I do know what happened to Miguel. And I'm really sorry, Stormclimb.
Is he alive?
I am afraid that he is not alive anymore.
Stormclimb is shocked. And he can't really process this. It just doesn't, it's not going through his head. So then he says, "Oh, but we can bring him back, right? I mean, like, he's just not alive in this world, right? He just got sent somewhere else, right?"
No, Stormclimb, he is gone and beyond recovery. In this land, when people pass away, they can be brought back to life through the use of powerful spells. Those used by clerics and people of fate. But what happened to Miguel is different. He didn't just die and his soul went to another realm to have his eternal rest. His soul was consumed by Quanivican.
There's a mixture of sadness and rage dwelling in Stormclimb. Part of him wants to lash out at Faye because of her connection to Quanifica, but at the same time, it's not like she was the one who did it. But his heart is just in a flux, and he can't say anything anymore, other than where is Quanifica?
In Nifldoom, the Hells, he is a fairly powerful demon. He's what people know to be a Demogorgon. He didn't used to be this powerful though. Way back before. Before Cosme was banished. But that's too long ago.
So, his lips quiver and he says, "No, but is there any way we can destroy Quanifica then.
I am afraid that even at the peak of your power, you would still be unable to defeat him. You would need tremendous power and tremendous allies to do that. And even then, victory would not be assured. There might be losses. Like I told Tractarian last night, I cannot foresee the future.
Oh. And there's no weapon that's powerful, no artifact or weapon that can defeat Quanifica?
There are many weapons and powerful artifacts, but they are guarded and by people who would not willingly give them away. No matter how just is your cause, these artifacts are far too powerful to be lent or borrowed for any amount of time. Especially if you were to fall and Quanivican were to harness their powers for himself.
Oh. And Stormclimb becomes quiet and just retreats into the into Drakdaren's armor.
Alright. So as you do that, Stormclimb just thinking about all of the implications and everything that Faye just told you, there's a lot that your mind needs to unpack, and you're just thinking about all the possibilities, everything. You replay every single hour of every single day ever since you came to this place, and try to think and consider why and how and what would have been and could have been, and many ifs and buts. And as you are thinking about all of that, no clear answer comes to your mind, as in you just let your mind wander into all of those thoughts, which could eventually take you to a dark place.
Yeah, I am just eaten up by despair now. It's just like, what do I do now? There's this whole time Miguel's just been dead, and I've just been toiling away for nothing. And like, the only thing you can think of is, at this point, the only thing I can do is just get revenge and destroy Quanifica.
And with that thought in your mind, you'll start to focus on that goal, and everything you think about, every possible angle, every possibility, every could have beens and every ifs and buts, all of them lead you into thinking that no matter what happens now, your life goal has to be to eradicate Quanifican and end it. And as you think of that, the party keeps moving westward towards Solcester Polder, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yep.
are you guys going on a normal pace, a fast pace, slow
Well, it
pace?
was supposed to be walk very slowly. We were supposed to be able to get here in roughly 2 days-ish, right?
Yeah,
Of
but
normal paceageness.
you departed a little bit later in the day
Yeah.
from Bunner. So here's the gist. You're 60 kilometers away from Solcester Polder.
Yeah.
If you walk normally, you cover 40 kilometers. If you walk fast, you cover 50. And then you'll be 2 hours away from Solcester Polder.
Or we just travel normal and don't get in trouble, perhaps, and because we're not in a hurry or anything, are we?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Are you?
it's not. We got someone with a gun after us or something.
Yeah.
Medieval gun.
Well, I have someone with a medieval gun somewhere in my armor. He's got a gun. I don't know about anyone else with a gun after us. So, yeah, I think we'll just be normal.
Okay, normal pace it is. I would like everyone to go ahead and make a wisdom perception check as you travel towards Salcester Polder.
A which check? I'm sorry.
Wisdom perception.
Perception.
Oh,
Gotta make sure your eyes are peeled and you are paying attention to the road, lest you
I
fall into
always
holes.
figured.
So I'm rolling mine at disadvantage since I'm just consumed with grief and don't really have any interest in the outside world right now.
Sure, fair enough. Direct Daring, you're the first one to notice that as you're going along the road, many hours into the day, into the march, you see in the distance, in the shores, what appears to be a shipwrecked boat.
Hmm.
And you imagine to yourself that it's a little bit tricky to get to. There's not a clear path between where you are and this boat. So you imagine that there are chances that there could still be some loot in there. If you were to decide to go down there and pillage it.
I'll point it out to the rest of the party and be like, "Hey, you guys want to go looting? They might have some cool shit on that ship."
Stormclimb is not responsive at this time.
Falcon, what do you think?
Could you repeat yourself? I'm sorry.
There's a shipwreck down on the coastline. You want to go check it out?
I don't see why not. I got nothing better to do.
Yeah. All right. Faye, we're taking a slight detour. Let's find the way down there.
Of course. And all of you then just start to descend this somewhat rocky cliff very carefully as you get down to the beach level, and then you start to approach this shipwrecked boat. And you see that there are some big crabs skulking around and about the boat.
Big crabs? How big are we talking about these crabs?
They seemed big from a distance when you saw them, but you thought it was just some sort of mirage or weird perception. But when you get close and you see how big this boat actually is, you notice that these crabs are they're the size of like a Great Dane.
Right, so I didn't think to mention this earlier, but I didn't realize how large this boat was, and there's some big fucking crabs here. Have you seen crabs this big, Falcon? Look at that.
I mean, there was that one time I was on a boat. In hindsight, the crash was very big.
Did you cause it to crash?
No, things just tend to break around me.
Oh, well, I have noticed that. You are a dangerous man. Okay. How many crabs are we talking?
Make a wisdom perception check as you try to get a count, a precise count of how many crabs are there. Cool. You get to see
You say
crabs. Yes.
Oh,
Crabs. C-R-A-B-S.
sorry. My audio's kind of a little, like, screwy right now. I'm gonna try to rejoin.
Oh no. Direct Daring. Thankfully, you are able to get a good enough count of the crabs. You see that there are 8 big-ass crabs and 4 tiny baby crabs that, in hindsight, are normal crabs, but compared to the big ones, they're baby crabs.
Right, so, okay. Crabs.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those. They can walk sideways.
Yeah, they're kind of weird. Taste
A
good,
little
though.
disgusting.
Well,
They do taste good. You want to cook some?
I kind of do. I kind of want to know what's on this ship more than anything. Crabs or no crabs.
Yeah, okay, I'm down for fighting crabs.
All right.
We can see if
Stormclimber.
they're friendly first. That is another thing.
Yeah,
All right.
We could.
As you start getting a little bit closer, Draktharian, you notice that there is one more crab, that is actually hiding inside the ship, and it seems much larger than all the other crabs.
Try and quietly look at Falcon and be like, Falcon, there's an even
Eh.
bigger crab in the ship.
How big's the crab?
Like, a lot bigger than those ones.
Oh fuck. We could. Something about this makes me really nervous, and I don't know why.
I wasn't that nervous when we were, like, up on the road. I didn't realize there was giant crabs down here.
Giant what crabs?
Well, giant like there's crabs, then giant crabs, and then there's giant crabs.
Oh, giant Is it larger crabs?
Bigger, biggest, you know.
Fast do you think they are?
Well, probably pretty damn fast.
Can I have Falcon hold up his hands like he's pretending they're binoculars and try and roll a history check on giant crabs?
Um,
All I can think is that they're dancing menacingly now. There's so many of them.
So they're doing the little crab rave.
That's literally what I was about to say.
um,
Crab rave on the beach.
Falcon, are you trying to get a measure of the size of the crab inside the ship?
Yes.
Okay, make me just an intelligence check.
There's no active combat. Excuse me.
You're
You're trying to view combat encounter. I'm trying to roll intellect. Okay. I'm just gonna roll +4, I guess.
Oh no, everything's bunked up.
It's like there's no active combat encounter. Oh, I'm clicking initiative, not intelligence. God damn it.
Slightly different.
Oh no.
Slightly different.
Oh, you silly bee. You look at this crab and you get the sense, Falcon, that it's about way taller than a Draktharian. It's about some 10-ish feet high, I would say,
That's a big crab.
hiding inside
Kind of-
the ship.
That's a big crab. It's bigger than you.
Jeez.
Probably wider.
I would hope so.
Well, nothing
you
a
would hope.
flash fly fireball can't fix.
Well, we don't want to blow up the ship. We're here to loot a ship, not blow it up.
Whatever.
What could possibly go wrong?
I don't like that sentence coming out of specifically your mouth.
It's not like people die with me that often.
We literally met you after your previous traveling companion spontaneously combusted.
Well, hey, if it's any consolation, if I die, I'm probably just not actually dead.
What?
Look, are we doing this or not?
You're right.
Listen, I want some food. We're running low on rations, and I'm pretty sure I can cook those crabs.
Well, two of those things are correct.
So, with disinterest, Stormclimb casts Bless. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Bless on the team.
Okay, you begrudgingly cast bless on everyone. Everyone is blessed or whatever, I guess.
Wait,
Hashtag
Yeah.
blessed, I guess.
does
Blessed
Bless?
or whatever.
Wait, does
Bless or
Bless?
whatever.
Yeah, does Bless even affect Falcon like with his moveset?
What do you mean? It should. Why wouldn't it?
I mean, there are
I mean, it
some
helps him with
spells that
saving
you need
throws, but
to. I mean, he also wizards do have spells that have attack rolls with them. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
whenever
there are some that do.
there's many spells, especially cantrips that you make an attack roll for,
Yeah.
so it would help.
fireball,
okay,
ray of
because
frost.
if anything, if it didn't affect Falcon at all, I was just gonna give it to Democles.
Sure. So all right. Are you guys doing this?
I think so.
Okay, so Stormclimb, you cast bless on everyone, and
Right,
everyone need it, and then
Yeah,
as
just and you just hear like You know, in Super Sentai and Power Ranger films, there's like those big ass smoke screen explosions, but instead you just see a little going off in front of the group. You just
Really
got those
disheartened.
pink, blue, and then like yellow for Falcon because of acid reflux.
Sure. So, Storm Climb, you are concentrating on Blast. It lasts for 10 rounds. And I imagine as soon as you cast Blast, everyone's charging in.
Sure am.
Okay. The crabs didn't seem hostile until you all unsheathed your weapons and started charging and yelling at them to get their loot, their delicious
mean-
loot.
I was
Falcon
actually
also-
going to say not to charge
Falcon-
it. I was actually.
Yeah, I did want to talk to him, so
Oh,
maybe we start with the talking strategy.
I didn't want to go swinging at the crabs.
Okay,
okay.
You wanna go talk to the giant crab?
okay, so
beat you with a stick.
before Storm Climb casts Bless, what are you doing, Falcon?
I want to stand somewhat away from the crab, and I want to imitate it.
Oh my.
With what goal in mind?
I want to imitate the crab to show that we mean no harm.
Cool. Make a wisdom animal handling check, I guess.
I love that tone of voice from
I want to
Doug.
do a crab dance, like
Crab
a crab
dance.
walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, crab walk.
I mean, sure, I guess. Go for it.
We are friendly. I am not a crab, but I am friendly.
Oh no.
oh.
That's a hell of a crab. That's some crab walking.
Sure, Falcon, you are able to do a crab dance, and all of the crabs, they seem to not mind and even copy some of your moves as you do your crab dance. And you have the chance of stepping closer if you want to, and it would seem like they wouldn't mind if you stepped closer.
We have become friends with the crabs.
Do you want to step
Okay.
closer to the crabs?
Do I
Falcon?
want to step close to the crabs? I'm going to respect their space, and I'm going to let them. I'm going to wait a bit for them to be calm with me, just a little bit,
Yeah, you all
or
see
imitating movements.
Falcon doing some sort of like a weird crab dance and such, and some of the crabs, they kind of seem to be vibing with that, and they seem pretty chill and okay with you being there, as far as everything goes. And
He's so weirdly exotic. I don't get it.
Falcon, do you step into the middle of the crab? With the crabs?
Crab space.
I will get closer to the crabs.
Sure. They eagerly accept you into their midst, and they don't seem at all angry with that. You
Cannot believe this is fucking happening.
Hey, Falcon. Falcon,
Yeah?
before you go too far, I'm going to
But
toss the bag of holding to him. If you find anything interesting, just sloop it in the bag.
so
okay, thanks.
the crabs, they seem to accept you as one of their own somehow. And Falcon, I would say that you get all the way over here-ish even, and you see that there are some treasures. You're close to some broken boxes from which several glittering coin pieces are glistening and reflecting the sun that is high in the sky as it is high noon. And you also make a wisdom perception check as you get close to the crabs and start to possibly pilfering some of this money from them.
Why did we send the wizard into the middle of the... You know what? I'm not worried about
Because you don't have a druid, and that's the next best thing.
it. Yeah. That's true. We don't have someone who's very familiar with animals. It might as well be the wizard.
I mean, like, the closest thing I can do is speak to rats, and these crabs obviously don't speak rat, I don't think.
Crabs, rats of the sea.
Oh no, they don't.
Oh my god.
Falcon, you do seem to notice another treasure tucked further inside the boat that the bigger crab seems to be protecting. It seems to be a large-ass jar that seems to be just spewing mayonnaise all over the place. And the crab seems to be gorging at it.
disgusting.
Eh.
No, he can keep that. He can keep that.
You can
I
have
don't want it.
that. I think I know what that
He can keep the giant jar of mayonnaise.
I think I know
And
what that is.
you see that the jar is spewing out way more mayonnaise than should be able to fit in there. So you get the sense that that item might be magical. You're not entirely sure what it might be, but there's a lot of mayonnaise for such a small jar. But it seems to be protected by the larger crab, and it seems to be this crab's source of food, and they seem protective of it. But they don't seem to care at all with the coins that are spread across the beach, especially as you keep doing your crab dance, and they have accepted you amidst their own. So what do you do, Falcon?
As I've been accepted by the crabs, I will take what has been offered to me, but I will not mess with the giant crab and his infinite jar of mayonnaise.
Oh my god.
Sure. So you keep doing your crab dance, you let the bag of holding fall to the ground, and then you keep squatting, going lower and lower, and then during your crab dance you start to do those big kind of claw hands motions as you kind of just go and scoop coins and drop them into the bag of holding, and you keep doing that, and it's incredibly exhausting. You're not big for exercise, and this is the most exercise I have ever done in the past many months. It's horrible. Your whole body is aching from all this exercise, but you do manage to scoop up 217 gold coins.
Calculator.
217. I was just watching him pick up 217 coins.
Stormclimb and I are just back here like, I have no idea what's happening, but it is. I don't want to say it. I'm going to pull out that chair and just kind of sit in it and watch.
But you can't because the bag of holding is not with
Oh,
you.
right, no, he's got the damn it!
Oh no!
Oh, I was gonna say, I need a beach chair.
Oh my god,
Damn
that was
it.
gonna be a total Shevek's gun right there. Oh my god, that would have been so great if you could have pulled out that chair.
Oh, well. Money, money, money.
I guess
wanna
I'll
go on the chair
reconvene
now,
with the
huh?
party now that I've become one with the crabs.
Yeah, you after picking all of the coins you can see, you can't help the feeling that there are even more coins buried in the sand, but you don't want to spend too much time with the crabs, especially because this whole detour took you guys about more than half an hour, and you still have traveling to do, so you decide to leave it be, pick the bag of holding, and dance your way back to the party.
What? You're not gonna go after the bigger loot that the giant crab is probably protecting?
Do you want an infinite jar of mayonnaise?
Hey, what?
Do you want an infinite jar of mayonnaise?
I have never had that question asked to me in my lifetime.
I don't
And
Well,
care.
the crab is
I
eating
think
it.
my
if you
answer is
want it.
no. You know, I like interesting loot, but I don't know if I like it quite as much as he does.
Wait, where's
And I-
this jar
The
of mayonnaise?
infinite jar of mayonnaise that the giant crab is
It-
currently eating.
Yeah,
Is it right here?
it's below the giant crab,
No,
the one in the
it's
back.
under this dude back here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the way in the back.
As in, like, hey, that's a boss fight for an infinite jar of mayonnaise.
I mean, do you want it?
No, I have my guess as to what that could be, but I don't. I don't want to fight a crab over. Drac has no reason to fight over mayonnaise.
Not even magical mayonnaise?
Magic mayonnaise, no way.
Alright.
Unless that's the mayonnaise that made the crab super big.
You don't know if it is or isn't, but you wager a guess that it might not be because all of the other crabs don't seem nearly as big, or they don't seem to be growing any bigger.
Can I roll a history to see if I know anything about infinite jars of mayonnaise?
Make an intelligence arcana check, Falcon.
Oh, okay.
Holy
Got
shit.
that plus 10.
Let me look up the old
I know what this item is.
Dungeon Master guide to see.
I know
Uh,
exactly what item this is.
oh, I know that you know.
I think I know what it is too, but I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, it's not that rare. You have heard in your lifetime that there are recipients that are able to produce all manner of content from them. Some of which can be used as weaponry, some of which can use as food supplies. And you imagine that this jar doesn't produces only mayonnaise, but also uh, other edible things. But
Oh,
you're
so
n-
it's a jar of food.
you're not entirely
The
sure.
jar of condiments.
Yeah, you're not entirely sure what things this jar can produce, and um, and if it is indeed one of those. If or you imagine that it is, but you can't be sure because you missed your Arcana check by 1.
I want to
Bruce
add
now.
a 4 to it.
Hey, card.
Are you doing that? Are you?
Totally worth it.
Are you doing, okay. Yeah, you're about to walk away when you say, "Oh, shit! I used to have one of those. I guess it's a alchemy jug.
Yep.
Alchemy jug?
Yep.
It's a magical item that can produce all manner of things. It can produce acid, basic poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, fresh or salt water, and/or wine in different quantities, but it can produce all of those things. In fact, mayonnaise, it can produce 2 gallons of mayonnaise per day.
That's
That
so
is
much
actually
mayonnaise.
disturbing.
That's a lot of mayonnaise. Who made this item? I need to slap somebody.
Somebody
It
that
can
loves
make-
mayonnaise.
It can make wine and beer and water and mayonnaise. What?
I mean, if
Fun
you
fact.
include ketchup,
Scary.
I'd be all for it. But since it's mayonnaise, it's like
mayonnaise.
nah. I
Fun-
want ketchup instead.
Fun fact, you guys. Apparently, someone did the math, and mayonnaise has a lot of nutrients and also has C vitamins, so you can live off of mayonnaise.
I mean,
What?
I know one of my friends who lives in Sweden eats mayonnaise straight, and I'm just like, I don't get it. We have different.
make you
worlds.
fat?
Fuck.
I know that's apparently it's a thing in Sweden. I don't know.
I mean, I used to like mayonnaise as a kid, but for some reason now the texture inside of it just disgusts me. But like, I
I-
only used it to like top my cheese sandwich.
I have gotten horrendously food poisoned the last 4 times I've eaten mayonnaise, so I try to steer clear of it.
So,
So
I mean,
anyway, it's
you-
mostly eggs.
do you want this alchemy jug or not?
Think you can mage hand it away?
It's got to be within 30 feet to do that.
Get a bird to swoop in and grab it? Like a flock of seagulls.
God. What do you think,
I
Falcon?
don't think
do you want
I don't
an
think I want
infinitely-
it that want infinite mayonnaise that bad. I've got to be very honest. I'm not the most durable, and that thing is the size of my fucking everything.
It's much bigger than you.
Like its
actually.
hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing could probably cut you in half.
I don't know. Can you tank? This is more of my question to you, my good friend. You see that giant crab? If that crab were to slam you with its hand, could you survive?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I have become one with these crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to get it?
Tell me what your crab plan is, crab man.
Okay, so, all right. So we have become friends of these crabs.
Mm-hmm.
I have become friends of these crabs.
Right.
I am going to continue to dance, but I'm going to make one of you invisible.
Oh.
Who thinks they can take the infinite jar of mayonnaise?
Hmm.
You need to leave food in place of for the crab, though. You gotta give him something in return.
How do you know that?
Because it's eating the mayonnaise as we
Okay.
speak.
That's fair. Oh, what's saying that this crab won't just be like, I see my jar of mayonnaise is just floating now and slam.
You see that you could go through the back of the ship.
So, I'm going to throw it out here. I'm bad at sneaking. Like I'm real bad at it.
So, quick question, Doug. When I'm looking at my Find Steed spell, it says, while mounted on your steed, you can make any spell you cast that targets only you, also target your steed. I'm guessing this doesn't apply to anybody who casts only a spell on me. Like, it only works if I cast a spell on myself.
Yeah, you're the one who has to cast a spell for the benefit to apply. I don't know.
I believe that's how it's
Yeah.
To my knowledge, the invisibility to actually work on multiple targets has to be cast at a higher level spell slot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, like, only, Storm Climb, like, what was it? Damocles has the mobility. Why not just get your bird? Why not get, your raven to do it?
Because he's got a tiny bird beak. He can't lift the jar. It's full of
He's got
mayonnaise.
talents, doesn't he?
It's a
Talons,
jar
but
of
I think it's full of
mayonnaise.
mayonnaise.
Also, alchemy jars are like big.
Why don't I just, like, fly really fast then and just pick it up?
We just fucking run.
Yeah,
Or we could be sneaky and then run if things hit the fan.
I mean, I think you'd have a decent way of stealthing through. How stealthy do you think you can be?
I'm proficient in stealth, so I got a +5. The only problem is that I can only run 20 feet per round, so I think I'd have to get Drakdarin to, like, throw me.
Or you like fly behind the ship, park Damocles nearby like a getaway car, sneak in, sneak out, zoom.
Why don't I just cast
Okay.
fly?
Or that.
Sure.
I can cast multiple spells. I can cast fly and invisibility on you.
What
Well,
a
I don't
crazy
want to.
concept.
I don't
Don't
want
wanna
you to
drain your
waste all your
magic.
magic.
Well,
Yeah.
you actually cannot because both are concentration spells.
Concentration spells.
Oh, yeah. Just give me invisibility, and then I'll just I'll park
Throw you.
behind the I'll park behind the boat and just grab the what was it? The mayonnaise producer for you.
Infinite
Alchemist
jar
jar.
of mayonnaise.
Yeah. The infinite jar of condiments.
I can't believe we're about to pull a crab heist.
Crab heist. I mean,
Screw
Okay.
dragon heist. Waterdeep dragon heist? No, crab heist.
this is D&D, pure and simple. We're doing D&D, you guys.
I wish to fight dragons and conquer kingdoms. No, I wish to steal from crabs.
Steal their
That's
mayonnaise.
what I want to do. I want to steal this crab's mayonnaise. What did you do today in D&D? Oh, you know,
Steal mayonnaise from some crabs.
stole mayonnaise from a crab.
Yeah,
What?
I'll just
So, what's the plan?
I'll do a swap.
All right. So, as a bit of a grimace and not to is definitely totally confident in the rat, therefore lightly touches his head and, without telling him, casts Fortune's Favor.
Oh.
Don't you need a pearl for that?
Do I need a pearl?
You need.
100 GP, which the spell
Costs 100
consumes.
GP. I
Yeah.
don't know. Do I like you enough to cast 100 GP of gold on you?
Look, I'll be fine. Just I'll just use silent image to replace the infinite jar of mayonnaise.
I think it'll probably notice pretty quick. I think your best
For-
bet is to use his invisibility and just shoop shoop in out quick
For the
job.
sake of just in case, 100 gold disintegrates, and I give you Fortune's Favor.
Is that okay, Doug?
Sure. I'll allow it. You were on a festival the other day. You probably bought a shitload of material components for a shitload of stuff. So yeah, you cast Fortune Favor for a second level spell slot and 100 gold pieces. There you go.
And invisibility.
I mean, you just got 200 from the crabs.
Exactly. So really,
Exactly. Which, by the way, I have to touch you again, so it's like I poked you in the forehead, then I poked you a second time, like a...
Ow. Falcon is a dick.
He's got talents for hands, if I'm not
Poke.
mistaken.
Poke.
He does have talent, so it's like a little pointy.
Ow.
So, Stormclimb, you feel yourself being imbued with good luck from a time wizard, and then you feel yourself, you feel as he casts invisibility on you, and suddenly you no longer cast a shadow and you are invisible. So, what's the plan now, you guys?
Just I guess ride on Damocles and fly around and end up behind the ship.
Sure. Is anyone else, Falcon or Directarian, doing anything to help with this?
Imagining
I mean,
Falcon
if-
is probably distracting with his extremely good crab dance.
Okay, so here's a plan. Seeing as a giant sort of googly eyes is a little bit not that inconspicuous, we could always have the bird pick you up and just like fly you over, because it's a bird.
Okay, either
And-
that or
and
I
then
just
I-
cast silent image over Damocles and just make him look like a seagull, or like there's like a seagull in front instead of Damocles. You know.
Sure.
The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
So you can't do that.
Crap. Okay. Well, okay. Let's fly on your Raven then.
Alright, so Falcon, as you start to try and keep doing your crab dance to distract these crabs, see, they have accepted you as one of their own, but you still need to prove yourself against the biggest kid on the block, and you challenge him to a crab dance contest, sorta, through your mimicry of crab walking. So make a charisma performance. Why don't you?
I did what? Okay, hold on.
Performance check.
Yeah, performance.
You're just nailing it today. What the hell?
What
Alright.
the hell?
By the way, Falcon has +3 to charisma.
Yeah, I'm kind of being like, what is this wizard right now? What is this wizard's stats? What the hell?
He
A
is
high charisma wizard is weird.
he is the incarnation of chaos. Whatever the plan is, if it is chaotic, he is going to nail it.
Apparently.
Yeah, what's the point of this paladin here being charismatic when this wizard is outdoing him?
I am the least charismatic person in this party.
Right? So, thankfully, because of you would already have advantage on your stealth, Stormclimb, but because Falcon rolled so well on his performance, I'm just allowing you to just nip it without any test. You just go and grab it,
Shit.
Thank you.
Boys, we just pulled off a crab heist.
right? You just
Crab eyes.
you fly behind the crab, and as it's paying attention to Falcon, and then as Falcon starts doing some really advanced crab moves, the bigger crab starts trying to mimic these crab moves as well, and you see that it has to step out of the ship to be able to really compete, and as it does and walks away, the jar of mayonnaise is completely there, open and free for the taking. So you just go and nab it, Stormclimb. You grab it and start pulling it away, and as you do, you notice that there are more treasure inside the boat. There are other things, but you get the sense that because the crab was guarding the jar of mayonnaise, these other things are also guarded, or you would notice if those things were to be taken away.
Okay, so can I at least, while this distraction is going on, do I have enough time to at least see what's there that's valuable?
Sure. I would like you to go ahead and make for me a delicious and lovely perception check. As I go and roll on this loot generator table. Real fast.
God dang it! Why are my perception checks so
9!
bad? Oh, wait!
Oh,
Fortune's
wait.
favor.
Oh.
I can roll a D20, I think.
basically
Let me
just
double check Fortune's favor.
Pretty sure you just
really quick.
redo your current roll.
Yeah, you can dismiss the spell to roll an additional d20, and then you choose which one you want to use, so you can re-roll that check.
Okay.
Do it again.
Rolling.
Oi!
Yeah, 21.
That's much better.
Fortune's favor.
Fortune's favor.
Dope. You see that it's 2 flasks of a red liquid that looks incredibly like a couple potions of greater healing.
So I just realized I don't have the bag of holding. on
You
me.
don't have the bag of holding.
Still in Falcon. You notice it's in Falcon's hands while he's still doing the dance. outside.
You are. Hmm.
Okay, so there's just 2 potions. That's it.
Yeah, just the 2 potions.
That's pretty. That's good. Oh my
Fuck,
god.
I'm gonna be greedy. So let's.
Oh, hast thou
New lease on
tempted
life. Who cares about living anymore?
Oh no.
No gods, only man.
And
Life
rats.
is chaos.
I am surrounded by chaos fools.
I
So,
used to be a cautious person.
Storm Climb, you fly away with the alchemy jar, and you fly in a different direction, away from the crabs, and because everything that you're holding also becomes invisible, the alchemy jar swooshes away. No, actually, that's on the moment the spell's cast. Never mind. The jar is flying off along
There's a floating jar.
on top of a sword, and then Faye, who smartly decided to stay behind because you were going against a bunch of crabs, she's just waiting, and then you just hand off the the jar of mayonnaise to her, and Faye just grabs it.
Here, hope you like
Yummy.
mayonnaise.
I
Anyways,
don't
I gotta go.
like mayonnaise, really.
I don't actually.
Well, that's what we got, other than some potions that I'm about to grab. So, I'll be back. See ya. Oh, wait, you can actually see me?
She sees a jar coming and a sword
Yeah.
flying, and she saw the whole planning from far away.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Kind of not there right now. But, anyways, I'll be back. See ya. So then I fly back and get those dang potions.
Alright, sure, now you make a stealth check with advantage.
Okay.
Here come the 2 ones.
Shut up!
Should have saved Fortune's favor.
Fortune's favor. Oh my god. That was
Okay,
almost
so
that
18.
was almost 2 ones on my screen.
Don't you dare.
It really almost was.
Cool, let me roll for crab.
Oh no, grab that.
Perception, it's not proficient in that.
Oh my god, it's got a -1.
It,
No, just an.
it sees nothing,
yeah.
it's enthralled by the dancing dragon man, who seems to know the secret technique of the crab dance passed down from generation to generation of crabs, and somehow he knows it.
He is truly a man out of time.
So,
As
as
the ancient crab dance.
as the crabs are completely distracted by this dancing dragon man, you just go and pilfer 2 potions of greater healing, write that down, and then you fly off, completely stealing the ever-living crap out of these poor crabs.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
that's on them for depending
God.
their source of food on just one source of a infinite mayonnaise jar.
They can't be lazy. Go be crabs.
Go hunt. Go find things. Go do
Get
stuff.
a job.
Get a All right, what did you guys
Not
do today?
handing out.
Well, we stole a chair and got a jar of mayonnaise. I think that's one successful day.
I mean, it's an honest life work. But anyway, Stormclimb, you fly away with the potions, and Falcon and Drectarian, you see the sword flying away as things are being taken, and then you don't see the sword coming back to the ship for a while. So imagine that the ploy is over, and you can ditch the crabs now, if you would like.
I
We ditched the crabs.
Well, let's ditch the crabs. I'll take the bag of holding back, I guess, and we'll go meet up with Faye and hopefully our rat friend.
Okay.
Hey, I'm sure he's fine.
He's fine.
So, Falcon, you finish the dance with a very, very beautiful flourish of crab likeness, and then all the crabs, they seem to kind of hop in place, kind of to one leg and then, well, to one side of their body, then to the other side, with their legs kind of clacking their pincers. It seems like they're doing some sort of applause, and they're very excited about this dance battle that just happened, and then you sort of just do a bow and starts walking away alongside Drakdaring, and the crabs they just keep clacking their pincers, just going nuts over the performance that you just display for them, and then all of you get to leave knowing that you completely circumvented a very long battle and possibly dangerous. Congratulations, everyone. I guess.
Falcon, I am infinitely more impressed with you today than I was yesterday. You have
learned
a
some
hidden
things.
talent.
Thank you. I've picked up some things in my travels. I think, I don't know, whenever I was from, something like that. And I know crab.
I suppose you do. Yeah, let's let's keep moving, I guess.
Take that jar of mayonnaise so I can just stare at it for a while.
Yeah, why don't you get real familiar with that mayonnaise jar that you so wonderfully won with your dancing?
Also, we should really take a look at the other stuff we got, like the potions
Oh,
and the stone.
invisible flying talking rat.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
let's get when we rest tonight. We'll take a look at some stuff.
all right, fair enough. So all of you guys then you just leave behind, and after climbing back the sort of treacherous cliffs and getting back on the road, then you start to hear the clacking of pincers get a little bit more agitated as they seem to realize that something's awry.
Walk faster. Walk real fast.
And at this point, all of you just break into very fast running away from the shipwrecked ship and leave the crabs behind. And after walking fast for some 10 minutes, you keep looking back, but no crab seems to be following you, and you get the sense that whatever it is you did it well.
Pulled off that crab heist nicely.
So you guys got a 217 gold pieces, a alchemy jug. Thankfully, Falcon knows what it is, so you can just write it down already. You'll know what it is, and also 2 potions of greater healing.
That was the best plan I think we've ever had. I don't think we've ever actually had a plan that went that to plan. That's amazing.
2 things. First, you had a good plan, but also amazing rolls.
Yeah.
And second thing, when you rescued Kylo the hen.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that
Yeah.
plan went 100% better than we planned. That plan had extra plans inside that plan. Because I kidnapped somebody.
Oh,
Don't worry. It was fine.
oh, yeah, that reminds me, seeing as we have the opportunity, I'm going to pull out that hat thing from before that we found out the dead guy, and I'm going to cast Identify.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, because after walking for a long while, you stop. You believe that you are... How much did you walk again? You walked 40 kilometers? You are 20 kilometers away from Salcester Polder. It'll take you 4 hours of travel to get there, but you decide to leave it for tomorrow, so you decide to just camp for the night again. So you set up your camp, and Falcon, you decide to go and identify the things. It takes you... How long it is again? 1 hour plus 10 minutes? Plus 1 minute to identify... Is it 1 hour or is it 10 minutes? I forget, for ritual spells.
10 minutes
10
for
minutes,
ritual
10
spells.
minutes.
Okay, it takes you 11 minutes to identify the helm that you had, the metallic dunce hat, as indeed a helm of comprehend languages.
Nice. See, I got confused the ritual thing too the first time. Thought it was an hour too.
I'll pull out that unidentified magical stone, the unidentified potion, that breastplate. Just lay
Oh,
them all
God.
out for him to work through.
Oh no, was there a
Okay.
potion?
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah, we
We
Alright,
found a
what's the
potion
first
in
thing?
that castle that was like we found a stone and a unidentified potion in a chest,
Oh shit.
along with a potion of superior healing.
Let's hope to dog that I remember
I
what potion that
sure
was.
hope so.
Okay, what items can you? Which item's the first one? I'll identify it. Hold on.
Your choice. You guys are the ones who control the bag of holding, so it's up to you. Really.
That magic
no,
stone.
I'm asking Drek.
That
stone?
unidentified stone.
Okay, I'm identifying the stone. The Falcon's identification shop. I might lie to you.
Is that on the sign in fine print?
Yes.
I might
No, it's
lie
in
to
bold print.
No, just making
thing
sure I
we're
know.
Good thing we're proficient in insight.
I'm not.
I thought you were, because
Absolutely not.
Stormclimb is.
Nope.
He's just
I am
had to
very
live
not
with
proficient at
bullshitters.
insight. I'm physical and looking around. That's what I'm and persuading. That's what I'm good at.
Fun. So, the first thing you're looking at is the stone, right?
The stone.
Yep.
Okay.
Stone.
Give me the stones.
So, Falcon, after 11 minutes of divining upon this magic object, you realize that this is a stone of good luck.
Whoa.
Stone of good luck.
Yeah, it would have been great to have before.
Would have been extremely helpful.
It's an attunement item, but it gives a +1 to ability checks and saving throws.
What the hell? How am I supposed to
Interesting.
write this down?
Put that
Stone
put
of
that
good
on my
luck.
pile of things I'm currently identifying. And what's your other items, Drac?
Well, there's a potion and this breastplate. I don't know if this breastplate's magical, but we found it. It was really shiny in that castle. I don't know. You want to see if it's even magical?
Perhaps
Yeah,
also
okay,
that.
doing it.
What about also that ornate key we found?
Oh yeah, that key.
Yeah, it might have
Alright,
some
I have
special
that key
properties.
still. The regal key. I wrote it down as regal for some reason.
Oh, because it was regal looking.
Because I described it as regal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll identify the breastplate next.
Wunderbar.
Sure, the breastplate is a adamantine breastplate armor. Which means it makes you immune to criticals.
Yeah.
Ooh, adamantine. That's
Oh
awesome.
my god.
Just lightly pushes it with his foot over the Drac while he's sitting on his floor of identification, which is now what the floor is called.
The floor of identification.
Okay, next item.
I guess you could look at that key if that's anything.
Okay, casting identify again on the key.
Cool, after 11 minutes you find out that it's a mundane but regal key.
Oh,
It's a very nice looking key, but
it's
nothing
a
else.
nice looking key.
Yeah,
Really?
indeed.
Probably throw it at a dude.
Ooh, hold on to it, or don't give it a storm climb. It might accidentally
say-
dissolve.
Don't give it a storm climb. It might turn into a keyblade, which will then cast disintegrate on itself.
Yeah,
Specifically, then everyone but Stormclimb gets this one. Okay, next item.
sure.
Okay. I don't know. The only thing we have left is a potion that we don't know what
Okay.
it does.
No, you have more items. If I'm looking at my notes correctly. You have a
'cause-
Christ.
you have a staff.
We do have a staff.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
Okay.
do. It
That
just
was-
wasn't. oh,
Identify.
that's right.
Yeah, wasn't that in
It
Falcon's
wasn't.
inventory?
Yeah, that wasn't in the bag of holding. That's why I was like, what?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Where you guys write
No,
down
I
your
mean,
things.
I know that was
I'm dumb and I fail at writing things down, but I do have a staff.
Okay, so you identify the potion and you find out that the potion is a potion of growth.
Ugh.
I believe that it grows you for 1 hour. You become one size
Yep.
larger and you deal 1d4 more damage on melee attacks and ranged attacks as well.
I'll add that to the other one that we already have. That we found like very early on. Why is there an amulet of the devout? That's a wonderful question.
Come again?
We, for some reason, we have an amulet of the devout in our bag of holding, and I don't remember putting it there.
Yeah, that's never been there.
So that's weird.
Hmm.
But anyway, figure that out later.
I mean, we won't because I don't remember that either, and I don't have it
Right,
written
no.
down.
No, I think it was just inserted right now.
Yeah,
it,
well, I don't remember seeing it before today, but I don't think it's supposed to be there, so I think I'm just gonna be rid of it.
Sure.
yeah.
I don't think it's supposed
what
to
about
exist.
the adamantine
Yeah.
armor?
It is adamantine armor.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
did you equip it already?
I mean, I don't know if it even fits me yet. We'll work on that.
Okay, maybe next time we can find vibranium armor.
Vibranium. This isn't Wakanda.
I wish to cast Identify once again on the staff.
cool. You do that, and you identify the staff. It is a homebrew item, so you possibly won't find it on the shebang of things, by which I mean the the D&D Beyond. But you pretty much can take any other staff of whatever and say that it is that. It's a staff of sure. It's like it's a staff. It's rare. It requires attunement by a spellcaster that is not a bard, so druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. While you are holding this staff, it has 5 charges, and you can use 1 charge to cast Erupting Earth, and it regains 1d4 charges every dawn.
Oh.
Jeez. Okay,
Wow.
write that down.
While we're sorting through the bag of holding, I'm going to take out at this point, like, fairly stale old loaves of sweet bread that we had gotten
Oh, I
quite
thought
a
you
long
ate
time
those
ago.
already.
Nope.
Yeah, I
Throw
thought
those into the forest.
Oh, okay. I thought you already ate them and like you just forgot to delete them.
Nope. They have just been there.
Okay, what's next?
That's it. That's all I've got.
That's it?
There,
Yeah.
sh- there shouldn't be
think
anything
so.
else because what should have been else you didn't grab when you were at the dungeon. So
Right.
this is it.
So we're good. We've got
Yeah.
things like a cleansing stone, and I'll pull it out. And these silver daggers, I guess. There's 4 silver daggers in here. Who knew?
Can
Uh,
you give one to Faye?
I don't know. Do you trust her with a knife?
She hasn't really shown to be harmful. She just seems to be consumed with knowledge.
I think
But-
we'll
How
be
the
Fine,
most harmful
whatever.
people get ya.
I don't think she's going to be doing much fighting. Do you want to identify this chair?
Oh yes,
Yes.
identify the
I
chair.
cast Identify on the chair. We've been here for like an hour. Casting Identify.
Yeah, you have. You know what?
Oh no.
I wonder if there is a magical chair item in D&D.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
You know what? Let me tell you.
God.
I want you, Falcon, to roll me a d20. If you roll a natural 20, it'll be a magical item.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
Ah.
Oh.
It's just an ornate chair.
It's just a chair. All right, back.
You sure about that?
It goes.
Keep that chair.
This chair is actually the big bad guy of the story.
I wish to rewind time on that roll and roll again.
Oh my god, no way.
Sure, fuck it.
Ugh.
Why do we need rules?
Oh no.
Together that makes a 20.
Chaos.
But no, that's
You got one more.
no.
Rewind. I can technically rewind time again and do
Man,
it again.
if only you had like kept that card that was a 4 and used it then. No, never mind.
No.
It's not rolling a 20.
Yeah, you have to roll a 20, but no, it's just an ornate chair.
Just a chin.
Goes well with the regal key that you have.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds
Okay.
neat.
Back in the bag it goes. Okay, are we bedding down here for the night then? We've had a lovely hour of identification. It will go down in history.
Sure, you still
What time is it?
it's 8 in the evening you have some 3 hours of downtime if you wanna do something.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up holding the staff with the hat on, holding the stone in the other hand, looking like a jackass and attuned to all three of them.
Okay, you attune to the staff, to the stone, and to the hat. By the way, the hat is not an attune item, so you don't need to attune to it.
That's
I'm gonna
handy.
wear it anyways.
Sure.
You look ridiculous.
Thank you. I can now understand everything that you're saying.
I think you could before. We both
No.
speak Draconic.
No, I couldn't.
And I whisper and I say in rat, because I'm feeling very sassy tonight. I say in
Chaos
rat,
Brew.
you look like a dumbass.
Aw, thank you.
Oh, so you
Oh,
can
I guess it
understand his
does work.
squeaking now too.
Unfortunately.
well. Unfortunately, smart-ass wizard just got even smarter, it seems.
My god, my Underdark insults.
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for you to have an insult battle with someone. You can do it in literally any language you want. Or at least you'll understand it.
I can understand the languages.
Right, you can't speak the languages. Got it. Well, if anyone insults you in a random language or some, God forbid, crazy extra dimensional being talks to you, you'll be able to understand it.
Want to talk about how stupid wizards are? I can already comprehend languages. I can literally
Right.
just learn it.
Yeah. That is a thing that you know how to do.
That
But
is a
now
thing.
you're doing it all the time.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. We have some time left for. I guess I'll write down another scroll. Why not?
There you go.
Sure.
I throw gold directly into the fire to learn the spell.
Okay, you do that. What spell are you writing?
Illusory. Wait. Did I buy a scroll of haste? Does anyone remember that?
A what?
Scroll.
remember-
I swear to God, I bought a scroll
I'm
of haste.
Pretty sure you bought
Yeah.
Identify, Unseen Servant, Haste, and something else.
Yeah, you bought
Learning
haste,
haste.
instead of that hut spell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of Lehman's Tiny Hut. What level is Haste? Is that a level 2 spell?
It's a level 3.
Ooh, so
Wait, how long does it take to write a level 3 spell?
6 hours.
Oh,
You're gonna be up late.
I mean, you can
yeah,
if you want to.
yeah, sure, why not?
All right, you do that.
150 gold, just
Yeah. Takes you 6 hours and 150 gold, but you do, by dog, copy haste into your spell book, and it infuriates you so much in the way that these people keep using silly imperial measurements to calculate the speed of light and such, and it just makes you wanna punch someone in the face. Unfortunately, there's nobody nearby enough for you to punch without you needing to stand up and actually go to them, so you decide to channel your anger elsewhere.
There's no one in direct vicinity to punch.
I want to hit somebody because this speed of light calculation is making me very angry.
I mean, we warned you that being a wizard is stressful.
It's very stressful.
Oh no, this
There's a
it's
lot
okay.
to think about.
This is fun. Oh, I had magic. Okay, I'll do that while y'all do your thing.
I have literally nothing to do. I will
Look at the stars.
I will look at the stars. I will pull out my axe, and while kind of laying on my back and just kind of holding my axe up and spinning it back and forth in my hands, and just kind of, What about Krill? What if I named my axe Krill?
Nobody nearby seems to reply.
Because he's far away, right?
We're all together just camping.
Why are you naming your axe after seafood?
Well, it's not necessarily the goal. Um, the leader of my company, we called him Krill. His full name was Krirakis. But, some of us just called him Krill. Might be fitting to sort of carry his name forward. Besides, I don't remember who it was, but it might have been you, Stormclimb, asking me if I had a name for my axe, and I didn't. And it's been on my mind.
Stormclimb nods. Yeah, that was me a long time ago.
I know that you are not feeling well, obviously. When we get back to Redemption, we'll make a stop at the bathhouse, eh? Probably help us all calm down.
Stormclimb just gives a light nod and says, "Sure." And so Stormclimb is going to, after that painful pause, Stormclimb is going to look up to Faye and say, "Faye, tell me, why? Why Miguel? He's just a kid. From another world. He's not even part of this world. Why? What's his connection to here? It just makes no sense."
Some time ago, Cosme used to not be a force in this realm anymore. He had been banished. He remained banished for nearly 1,000 years. And then, one day he was brought back. Once he was brought back, the connection between the realms was restored. And all of these creatures that had been confined to their own realms decided to start hunting in other realms. The people of this plane suffer constant attacks from worshippers of Quanivikan, but also they open portals for creatures from that realm to come into this place to steal away people and consume their souls. I don't know why they targeted Miguel, or why he had to suffer such a horrible, cruel fate as he did, but it is what it is. There might be other people from your realm, Stormclimb, that have suffered a similar fate.
So, how do I stop this? Like, has the guild, with the guild we've joined, have they actually made any progress with stopping this, or is there something else that we haven't tried that we could just cut off the worlds again?
I thought that was Anthony's whole goal, was stopping portals.
Yeah, but we don't know if he was actually doing a good job at it or not.
Well, but he has a plan. He needs artifacts to some end. And, we've been gone for almost a week. Who knows? Maybe he's figured something else out.
Anthony has a plan indeed. He has made some progress into allowing people to go towards the hell and back. They have known how to make it into the hells for a while. They just didn't have a way to bring people back. Now, thanks to your efforts, they do have a way to bring people back. But all of the adventures in the guild are not enough to stop Konivikan. He is far too strong. I am afraid that you would need a huge army to stop Konivikan. And no matter the size of your army, too many would fall before you even reach him. He resides within the depths of hell itself. And the travel all the way to his lair would break your minds and your bodies, and whatever's left of you would not be able to withstand him.
Maybe
Do-
there's just something we haven't found yet. Some other magical item that can do so.
The way to stop Konivikan would be to do something bold, something chaotic. You would need to stop Konivikan before he got as strong as he did.
Well, that sounds like tampering with the past.
It
It
does.
seems less bold and more insane.
It is a one-way road. Incredibly dangerous and uncertain and nearly a death sentence for whoever would try it, but that is the only way to save Miguel. Is to stop him from being kidnapped in the first place.
I see. A little ember of hope burns in Stormclimb now. Just enough to keep him going and not be suicidal anymore.
Scary. Sad rat.
Yeah. So there really is a way. And Finn wants to try and do some timey-wimey stuff with Falcon. Do you think he could actually make it? Or do it?
He has the power to do it, yes. As Finn told his friend Felipe a couple days ago. Well, yesterday, near Bunder. Traveling through time isn't hard. It is, in fact, very easy. The problem is dealing with the consequences of that.
Like, if I stop Miguel from being kidnapped, I'll be erased, won't I?
You will never see him again. But he will be safe. You will be stuck in the past. 1,000 years ago.
What? It was 1,000 years ago? Oh, wait. Actually, I think I got that backwards. Oh, I see. Well, I'm fine with that. As long as Miguel is safe. I'll do whatever it takes. So, that's something else that there's something else that I've been wondering. Can somebody help me with the verbiage? It's like Symphilium?
Siphil?
Cypherium? The crystals?
Yeah. Symphilium, do they have anything to do with Quanifica?
Yes, there are many types of crystals. The ones made in the hells are the Nephilims, worshippers of Quinivican and other creatures. They come, take away, capture people, and capture their souls into these crystals that they call Nephilims. And then they bring it back to Quinivican, who feeds off of those. The souls of mortals.
Stormclimb feels utterly repulsed, and he thinks about Dreg and the pain he's been put through, and he says to Faye, "Is there a way we can free the souls from the Nephilium?"
There are ways, but it would require defeating the armies of Quinivican. They hold the secrets, the keys that keep these Nephilims resilient. They would need to fall before crystals would be able to be... the souls would be able to be released from the crystals.
I see. Do you think you can write down their names, or would that be too much for you?
The names of whom, Stormclimb?
The demons that you said the secret resides in, if they were, vanquished, then the crystals could be undone. Isn't that what you just said?
There are a few lieutenants. I will write down their names and tell you if you need.
Yeah, because I figured that Anthony and the guild could probably use this if they don't already know.
I am afraid that even if they know this information, they still won't have the power to stop these creatures.
Maybe not, but every bit of knowledge counts. After all, like in the world I used to live in, knowledge is power, and knowing is half the battle.
Somewhere in the distance, quietly, G.I. Joe.
Well, if you really want to throw away your life to go face Quinivican in the past and defeat him before he attains the power to become the Lord of Hell and capture the soul of Miguel, you will need two things. You will need the help of Finn. Finasair can help you with that. Yesterday, he teleported back to Redemption after the three of you failed to meet him at the designated spot.
It's true. We did.
We
Got
did?
sidetracked.
But, to be honest, to be fair, the local townsfolk didn't pass on the full message of where to meet him and at which time. But in any case, once we're back in Redemption, we will be reunited with Finn. The next thing we need is much like with teleportation, we need something from the time which you want to go back to. In which case, that would be Falcon.
Is that why Finn was so interested in him?
Finn is interested in Falcon for the opportunity to research time distortion phenomena. not necessarily to go back in time.
After all this talk of keys, and it turns out Falcon is a key of his own. All of this is hurting my head. I'm going to fall asleep, I think.
Sure. So will I. And once again, I'm really sorry about your losses.
Faye, thank you. This is all very upsetting for me, but I'm just glad that I finally have some answers. Maybe I was too late to do anything, but at the very least, I know what I can do next. And I'm grateful for that.
That-
So, just know that I appreciate what you've told me, Faye. Even if this did hurt me, this is something that I needed.
Thankfully, you didn't throw yourself at the enemy and got yourself killed in the process. You still have time. You still have chances and opportunities. Seize them, Stormclimb.
Yeah. One other thing I want to know, Faye, is even if we somehow defeat Quanifica, what stops this from becoming a power vacuum and some other big bad taking Quanifica's place?
Nothing really.
So, after we somehow defeat Quanifica, we have to sever all ties to the other realms. And how do we... Wait, did she already say how to do that?
No.
Can't remember. There's just so much going on. How
The-
do we sever the bonds to these other realms then after we defeat Quanifica?
History is in some way doomed to repeat itself. After the connection with the other realms was severed, it was returned when Cosme, that had been banished, was returned to this realm. And no matter how long time flies by, eventually someone will rise again and will free Cosme once more, so the energy of chaos may flow through the world and the connection to the realms may once again be open. If anything, it would be impossible to close the hells themselves, but I'm sure you will figure something out.
What about just closing off my world? That's enough for me. Is it possible to just seal away my world forever?
Not while Cosme is free, I'm afraid.
Then I guess I'll just have to do what I can. Whatever that is. Okay. I think I'm gonna head to bed now. Good night, Faye.
Good night, Stormclimb.
Good night, everybody else.
No.
Scribbling in the background
Snoring off to the side,
Bef-
probably into
before
his axe.
finishing and exact.
So, as everyone goes to bed, Falcon, you're the last one to go as you finally finish doing the last calculation for the for your physics, mathematics, to finally figure out how to accelerate someone without causing them any sort of bodily harm. And then it finished transcribing the spell of haste into your spell book. When you look around, everyone's asleep. And then
Finally, I can no longer vaporize somebody when trying to speed them up through the passage of time. What is this? Oh, you're all bad. Guess I'm first watch then, huh?
And without anyone to answer back, you, Falcon, start taking the first watch, making sure that your friends and, for now, your temporary family is safe from the horrors of the dark. And this is where we're gonna end the game for today, everyone.
Horrors of the...
Man.
Oh yeah, hooray! You survived!
I feel like I'm taking a college course with the number of notes I just wrote down.
Oh, my head
I haven't
is
written this many
exploding.
notes since I was in college. That was like 2.5 pages of notes that I just wrote.
Oh cool, I wrote 3 whole pages before the game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like... Yeah.
Especially for things that didn't came up, because it didn't came up. But hooray. So thank you everyone at Twitch for sticking around for as long as we did. Even though there was no combat, there was no lack of drama in this today's episode of Conquerors of Nolyn. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I'll be uploading these into the YouTubes later, even though at the very beginning of the game my internet was bonking and wonking and bits and pieces might have been cut off. Hopefully you can still enjoy the whole thing after all. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll have an amazing Tuesday and evening or morning or whatever time of the day it is for you. I'll be posting links to my YouTube on chat in just a moment. And other than that, thank you so very much for watching. Goodbye, Twitch.